Well, and a very good afternoon on a Friday, 24th day of the month of May 2024. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a tún kábọ̀ sórí ètò ti Yoruba Nation Self-Determination as we continue our campaign, as we continue our quest, and as we continue to enlighten and educate ourselves on all the reasons in the world why the Yoruba people should have an independent country. Mo kí gbogbo àyàn olólùfẹ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo ibi tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ tí ẹ ti fẹ́ gbọ́ wa ní àsìkò yìí. Mo tún kí wa pé a máa tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ti ọ̀sán yìí. A tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò tí a máa fi ṣíra wa ní ọkàn kúrò látara ìlú tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. Orúkọ tèmi ò yí padà, tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá mọ̀ sí OLAYOMI KOIKI, tí mo jẹ́ ìkan náà àwọn gbòógì sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí ìran Yorùbá ṣe máa tú kúrò nínú oko ẹrú Nàìjíríà. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bí ẹ bá ti ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta, ẹ máa bá wa ṣe kí ni? Ẹ bá wa máa pín ètò náà. Ẹ bá wa sọ fún gbogbo ẹni tí kò tí ì mọ̀ pé a ti wà lórí ètò pé kó darapọ̀ mọ́ wa kí a jọ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yoruba Nation Awareness Continues. Nítorí pé wọ́n ní bí a bá pọ̀ lórí ètò, òun náà ló máa jẹ́ kí ìrìn àjò yìí kó tètè yá ju bí a ṣe ń fẹ́ lọ. Nígbà wo la máa gba Yoruba Nation? Ìyẹn kù sọ́wọ́ ọba Elédùmarè, ọba àjọkẹ́ ayé, àṣàkẹ́ ọ̀run, ọba tí ó ní wá tó dá wa, tí a dẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ pé ní wákàtí ní àsìkò yìí ó fún wa ní gbogbo tá à ń fẹ́. Mo ti wà live ṣíkọ̀ urgent. So gẹ́gẹ́ bí gbogbo yín ti ṣe mọ̀ pé Koikimedia òun náà ló máa ń gbé gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ wá fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta, ẹ máa bá wa pín ètò náà. A ṣe ń fẹ́ lọ náà tó ní mo kí wa.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ wà bá di méjì yóò dogun. Déèkì bá di méjì. Tá a bá fẹ́ takun. Yóò díje. Tí àti abárè. Tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lábẹ́ àkóso olórí oko káfàtà. Bàbá wa Emeritus. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Bánjí Akíntóyè. Ṣé ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ tí a ń pè ní ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn. Láti tẹ́ ìṣòro kùpọ̀ kò kéré. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ olówó dé gbogbo. Ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn. Mẹ́wàá la ó máa san. Lóṣooṣù yìí lọ́wọ́ ìlú tá a bá wà. Tó jẹ́ wípé tí àwọn ará Amẹ́ríkà bá ti ń san $10 ni àwọn ará Canada ó máa san $10 Canadian ní ará London ó máa san £10 sterling, àwọn ará Europe ó máa san €10, tí gbogbo àwọn tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó sì máa san £10 àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ká má fàkókò ṣòfò, ètò àkójáde àti ìfilọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn yìí máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta ọjọ́ 12 nínú oṣù karùn-ún tó bá ti di gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́ aago 7 àṣálẹ́ Yorùbá Homeland Time lórí ẹ̀rọ ìtàkùn ayélujára Zoom pẹ̀lú meeting ID 846-608-9806 tí password sì jẹ́ TPA ní capital letters. Bákan náà náà máa ṣàfihàn lórí Yorùbá World Media àti gbogbo ìkànnì tó sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fún ìjàngbara òmìnira Yorùbá. Ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn.
A pe fọ́ọ̀nù yìí ní Ọ̀rànmíyàn Ọ̀rànmíyàn. Kí ni ìdí tẹ́ẹ̀nì yẹn ni pé ibikíbi tó bá ń gbé lórílẹ̀-èdè ayé, ibikíbi tó bá ń gbé nǹkan tán bá owó tán bá ń ná bẹ̀ mẹ́wàá náà ló máa fi sí. Tó bá ń gbé Nàìjíríà $10 lóṣooṣù. Tó bá ń gbé Amẹ́ríkà $10 lóṣooṣù. Tó bá ń gbé Britain £10 lóṣooṣù. Tó bá ń gbé Europe €10 lóṣooṣù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni káàkiri ayé pátápátá àwa Yorùbá rẹ̀ káàkiri ayé kò sí ìlú tá ò sí. So nǹkan tí a fẹ́ fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ níjọ́ Sátidé yìí.
Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti san owó ẹ̀wá tí ń lóṣù yìí, ẹ kàn sí bàbá wa Sam Oyèbáyọ̀ tí wọ́n jẹ́ YSCM Head of Finance lórí fóònù nọ́mbà wọn +44 793 959 3613 tàbí kẹ́kàn sí wọn lórí sam.oyebayo@ysdf.org. Ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn láti jọ pọ̀wọ́pọ̀ àgbè lárugẹ. YSDF pẹ̀lú Yorùbá World Media ló kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá.
Àwọn ọmọ Odùduwà.
Ayé wa o. tẹ́wàá bá di méjì yóò dogun. bí èjì bá di méjì tá a bá fẹ̀ takun yóò díje. ìdí àti abárè tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lábẹ́ àkóso olórí oko káfàtà bàbá wa emeritus ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Bánjí Akíntóyè ṣe ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ètò kan àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tí a ń pè ní ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn láti tẹ́ ìṣòro kò pọ̀ kò kéré lórí ọ̀rọ̀ lówó dé gbogbo. ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn mẹ́wàá la ó máa san lóṣooṣù. èyí lọ́wọ́ ìlú tá a bá wà tó jẹ́ wípé tí àwọn ará Amẹ́ríkà bá ti ń san $10 ni àwọn ará Canada ó máa san $10 ni ará London ó máa san £10. àwọn ará Europe ó máa san €10. tí gbogbo àwọn tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó sì máa san $10 àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. ká má fàkókò ṣòfò. ètò àkójáde àti ìfilọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn yìí máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta ọjọ́ 12 nínú oṣù karùn-ún tó bá ti di gẹ́gẹ́ aago 7 àṣálẹ́ Yorùbá Homeland Time lórí ẹ̀rọ ìtàkùn ayélujára Zoom pẹ̀lú meeting ID 846-608-9806 tí password sì jẹ́ TPA ní capital letters. bákan náà la máa ṣàfihàn lórí Yorùbá World Media àti gbogbo ìkànnì tó sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fún ìjàngbara òmìnira Yorùbá. ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn.
a pe fọ́ǹdì ní Ọ̀rànmíyàn Ọ̀rànmíyàn kéde tẹ́ẹ̀dì yẹn ni pé ibikíbi tó bá ń gbé lórílẹ̀‐èdè ayé ibikíbi tó bá ń gbé nǹkan tán bá owó tán bá ń ná bẹ̀ mẹ́wàá náà ló máa fi sí. tó bá ń gbé Nàìjíríà $10 lóṣooṣù. tó bá ń gbé Amẹ́ríkà $10 lóṣooṣù. tó bá ń gbé Britain £10 lóṣooṣù. tó bá ń gbé Europe €10 lóṣooṣù. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni káàkiri ayé pátápátá àwa Yorùbá rẹ̀ káàkiri ayé kò sí ìlú táwọn sí. so nǹkan tí a fẹ́ fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ níjọ́ Sátidé yìí ni.
fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti san owó ẹ̀wá tí ń lóṣù yìí ẹ kàn sí bàbá wa Sam Oyèbáyọ̀ tí wọ́n jẹ́ YSCM Head of Finance lórí fóònù nọ́mbà wọn +44 793 959 3613 tàbí kẹ́kàn sí wọn lórí sam.oyebayo@ysdf.org. ẹ̀wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn láti ìjọpọ̀ wọ́pọ̀ kágbé lárugẹ. YSDF pẹ̀lú Yorùbá World Media ló ń kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá.
A very good afternoon and welcome.
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
I'm supporting Tinubu.
100% to deal with Nigerians. People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them. Or you will do your conscience.
Well, election is not a solution. Dissolution is actually the dissolution to the problems that we encounter in the present day Nigeria. So I welcome you into our live discussion. Nigeria is somewhere, just somewhere around, that's Nigeria, according to the map. So it is somewhere around there. Niger, up there, Chad, we have Benin Republic, Mali is up or down, and we have Cameroon, which is close to the eastern part of what is known as Nigeria. Is the continuation of our discussion from where we stopped. We have not dealt with it as much as enough. So, I'm a bẹ̀rẹ̀ níbi tí bàbá wa Professor Bánjí Akíntóyè tó ní kí a máa fi educate ara wa. And what we're going to be discussing is the path to prosperity in our ORILEEDE Yoruba. We need a nation with proud roots and proud history. It's a 95-page, just one topic, flashing treat. Until I'm satisfied, then I'll move to the next one. But for now, we will hold on to the first one. But because our history and background is very, very important, I know many of you are not concerned about your history, but I am concerned about my history. And maybe we should listen to Jonathan, the former president, and then after that we play the anthem that we kickstart the program.
Thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this would help us to have the conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought four, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
So now that we know that it is only the British intention, ìbéèrè tí mò ń bi gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá and many Nigerians is, if Nigeria is only the British intention, and I have multiple cameras, so my eyes is moving because I am not talking to one platform. We have about almost 10 or 12 platforms that is running. If you're not comfortable with a particular platform, you can switch to other one. The only platform that is not turned on is the Mix LR. But apart from that, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Mama keep delay the broadcast. Please don't, I have said it, don't ever tell me, oh, Yoruba Nation Lanshi, Yoruba Nation came so if you thought it's so Yoruba Nation, you can go to that platform and sit there and listen to it. I am not talking to you alone. I am engaging international audience, people from around the world that I want them to know and be proud of who we are. So when I speak in English, I am actually communicating to our non-Yoruba followers, friends of the Yoruba people before the British created that contraction known as Nigeria. So as we go into the program, Tinubu is a weak element, but we will be telling you why Tinubu is a weak element. 1 year of a failed, corrupt government, the APC, that is not going to make your life better. You will be in the poverty stage for a very long time because APC is just the same as PDP. Pension is not being paid, salary is not being paid, our wages, healthcare. All these are all the reasons why we say that Nigeria is a zoo and nothing can change that world. It will remain a zoo until we come out of it. Sometimes people say, hey, were you not born in the zoo? Well, it is a zoo. And that is why I want to come out of the zoo. Idiot. Oh no. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn mídíà wa, mo kí ọmọ Odùduwà mídíà, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, mo kí gbogbo àwọn Koikimedia team. The Yoruba people are non-violent people, and that is the beauty about this movement. Majority people thought that Igboho would have started killing many Yoruba people or giving us order to destroy homes and properties and turn Yoruba land into a bloodshed. But Igboho said no. Baba Akintoye said no. That is not how we will get our country. We want a country, there's no doubt about it. But ọ̀nà tá máa fi gbà òun kọ́ nìyẹn. It will remain non-violent, and that is exactly what we are doing. To educate ourselves. More education. Reasons why Yoruba needs to be out of Nigeria. And that is exactly what we are doing. Coming up to 2:29 p.m. local time from London. Let's start with this. Moki Babawa, Professor Adebanji Akitoye, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group. Moki Gbogbo Egbe, Moki Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n believe in the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akitoye. Regardless of what people say about him, he's more like highly intelligent with the background of the history. So when people say, well, we don't believe in his leadership, for those that doesn't believe in his leadership, wọ́n lè dàbí Baba Akintoye. Baba tí wọ́n gan kò dàbí Baba Akintoye at 89. Most of them, Baba wọn ò ṣe rí. Baba wọn àti ìyá wọn ò ṣe rí. Ẹlòmíì ó gbé at 89 ó ti gbé ìyẹ́ pamọ́. But because we have people that have turned into monsters from what Nigeria has created, they are hoping that one day they will become successful in the corrupt system. Like I said, I will not be mentioning names because of the time that I have. I'm trying to figure out, where should we start from? Where should we pick the conversation from? Let's go back to that particular. We Yoruba are a nation with proud roots and a proud history. Kí ló ń pè ní roots? Kí ló ń pè ní history? Oh, you want to throw away your history and your roots, ìpìlẹ̀ ibi tó ti wá, because of the politicians that will, at some point, they will die. But the Yoruba as people will not die. That is what we are trying to save. So your politicians are trying to save Nigeria. I'm even hearing the news. I've not seen it yet, but I'm hearing the news that they want to change the Nigeria national anthem. They can feel it, that country is collapsing. I don't know how far that is. Maybe I should even check, because I was hearing that they want to change the Nigeria. Bí àwọn ṣe pass any, bí àwọn dẹ̀ ṣe fi pass law yẹn. But there is a news about the Nigeria national anthem. Okay. Out of every problem that is facing Nigerians at home and abroad, in the last hours after my broadcast at about 6 in the morning, I've been inundated with many Nigerians, Yoruba background, that have got one problem or the other in the United Kingdom. Multiple different problems. Like I said, most of them are not for public consumption. But these are what I'm dealing with. With the new, I will call them JJC. I want to share OLAYOMI. I pray that British will give you a visa, whether on a COS, whether on a student, whether on a scholarship or a visit. Well, I've just been updated that has been passed in the parliament. Out of all the problems facing Nigerians, many Nigerians have arrived in UK, where I live, from outside London to within London. Fundiko Abidikeji, they are now stuck in here. They've sold their properties. They've sold a lot of things to get to this country. But it has not been as it is planned. How lawmakers accelerate past the bill to change Nigeria national anthem. A country that is going into the drain. A country that we will pack everything known as Nigeria. I am not talking about the Yoruba land, because the Yoruba land is our territory. Our land is territory, and it belongs to us. But that name, your banks will change that name at some point in the future. They will destroy everything known as Nigeria. It will not come back again in the history that I am living. Koiki is not going to happen. You would have died. I will still be alive if you are one of those that doesn't believe in it. Because when the British were doing their nonsense to colonize us, some people died that did not believe that the British could. Do you know that the British Empire was so massive and big that they were able to capture multiple countries around the world? And that lasted for 200 years. So what lasted for 100 years of Nigeria will collapse. Something will make it to collapse. Your problem is that you are not ready to allow Nigeria to dissolve. Because your politicians are more concerned ní gbogbo tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nigeria àti tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Nigerians ní gbogbo àgbáyé lẹ́nìí. The national anthem bill was passed yesterday. Today is Friday. And I'm reading the paper from the Premium Times. After it's killed the first, second, and the third reading at this, why are they not doing something that will also checkmate them as our representative, quote and unquote? Wọ́n ṣe ṣe tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa tètè pass the bill yẹn so that your life could be better. They are not going to do that because they are not interested in that. They are more concerned, maybe owó kan fẹ́ jáde níbẹ̀, but who is actually sponsoring this bill? There is an APC House leader, Julius Kuhovibere, Invobere, or whatever his name is. Is an APC from Edo State. Edo, as we know, can be on its own as a nation. And don't tell me it's a small state. It cannot have a nation. Gibraltar is a British territory with less than 40,000 population. They have their own system of government. Welcome to the program. The bill, as we know, was sponsored by the House leader, Julius, of APC, titled Act to Provide for the National Anthem of Nigeria and for the matters related, was given a speedy passage during preliminary. I hope this is not part of what Prince Harry came to do. Because you will be wondering that gbogbo tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà lẹ́nìí níbi táwọn èèyàn sọ pé wàhálà ń bẹ o, eléyìí ṣẹlẹ̀ o, eléyìí ṣẹlẹ̀ o, intole address and pass it as safely as possible is the national anthem. Látara kíni? There is always an hidden agenda for something. President Bola Tinubu has in the past advocated the adoption of the old national anthem in place of the current one. So Tinubu, I told you, is a weak element. President Bola Tinubu is a weak element in support of the Northerners against Irantie. But let me tell you, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá that believe in the Aṣíwájú Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is good to believe in him. But the Yoruba people are bigger than him. And the Yoruba as a whole indigenous people is much bigger than Tinubu, because the whole of Tinubu will only last 8 years as the president. And then what happened after that? Kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn yẹn? Tí Tinubu bá parí ìjọba tiẹ̀ tó ṣetán, kí lẹ́yìn rò kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀? What do you think is going to happen when Tinubu completes his tenure? He will return to Babylon as a richer man after a lot that is happening. And I will tell you that ibi báyìí ni máa jókòó sí, and people will tell me with fact what happens when Tinubu that owns toll gate. Remember the NSAS, the Lekki toll gate. Do you know how much they were making in a day? This is not a beer parlor conversation. This is a conversation from the person that walks right 7 to 7, 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening in the 22 toll gate. They were making 22 million naira every day. And we know that Tinubu owns the Lekki toll gate, where many Nigerians, the same national anthem, I hope, okay, maybe the old anthem went with the blood of those Nigerians that were massacred at the Lekki toll gate. So maybe what it differ from wọn, bí what it ríran sí wọn pé ẹ jẹ́ lọ change anthem yẹn kí Yorùbá nation àti Biafra àti Arewa àti àwọn ìjọ tó ń béèrè fẹ́tọ̀ wọn kó má bàa bọ́ sí. Because we know how these things work spiritually. Change that national anthem so that that will change certain things from the spiritual realm. You don't have to believe me on that. That is just my own assertion of things. Because I am wondering, out of all the magnitude of problems tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà lénìí, gbogbo tí president àti àwọn ọ̀ràn ẹ̀ rí tí wọ́n rí òun ni pé the national anthem. The national anthem, out of all the problems. But ìwọ tó jọmọ Yorùbá tó ń sọ pé Yorùbá nation wo ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀. I hope that during this government wàá rí tiẹ̀ ṣe níbẹ̀ o. Ó lè ṣàmì sí o. I don't know how that is going to happen. But however it's going to happen, that is your own cup of tea. But one thing is, to get away out of that nonsense national anthem, because that, for us, is nonsense. Níbi táwa fi ẹ̀mí wa sí today is Yoruba exit out of Nigeria. And it's going to happen. It will happen. How it's going to happen is that things will fall apart swiftly, fast, in that zoological country known as Nigeria. Àwọn nǹkan kan máa break. Àwọn nǹkan kan máa ṣe kí ni? Ó máa break. Kò sólówó tó lè dá dúró. Kò sí babaláwo tó lè dá dúró. Kò sí oníṣègùn tó lè dá ọ̀rọ̀ pé Yorùbá kò ní lọ, wọ́n lè dá dúró. Wọ́n lè delay for a while, but they cannot stop it. Oh yes, they can delay it. The current administration and all the corrupt politicians would deceive Nigerians again pẹ̀lú àwọn the colonial masters that served the interest of the politicians, they will start telling you that if Tinubu is not working very well, when it comes to 2027, get another person and vote them in. That was what you were told in 2023. Get your PVC. Your PVC will bring the better Nigeria. In 2011, Tinubu, as the leader of one of the main opposition parties, called for the adoption of the anthem in place of the current one. I don't know which one was the old one, apart from the one that we all read from primary to secondary school. But actually, I better see the understanding pé it was all lies. It was lies. For them to have told us that Nigeria was a country, it was a lie. But our money, because when your history has been taken away, how do you know the truth from the false? Nígbà tí wọ́n bá ti gbé irọ́ tó jẹ́ pé irọ́ kàbìtì lọ́pa fún wa for over 63 years. Báwo ló ṣe fi wá tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin táwọn ilé náà sọ irọ́ ni? And that is where many Yoruba people are not interested. Not that some are not interested. Majority are interested. But tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ nínú Nigeria, they know what the government and the corrupt politicians will do. Somebody called me and said, Mr. Koiki, this was today. If you were in Nigeria, you are likely to have been killed, or you are likely to have been taken into the custody. Because ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ jáde lójoojúmọ́ yìí fún àwọn Nigerians, ó ní wọ́n lára, but ikú kan sí fáwa, and you will not get me in Jesus' name. You will try, but it will not happen. Because the voice, Koikimedia, will be used to liberate the Yoruba people, plus all other media that believe in self-determination. Let's come back to the good news. Path to prosperity. Kí ni meaning prosperity? You have been told that there's prosperity for you in Nigeria. Are you still sure that there is prosperity for you? You better wake your mind up. Ó jẹ́ tètè ya lajú ẹ sílẹ̀ pé kò sí prosperity fún wọn nínú Nigeria, because it is deliberately the creation of Nigeria. It is not for our own interest. So, kí ni meaning the word prosperity? What is the meaning of this word?
Prosperity.
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 The state of being prosperous. Prosperity is the flourishing, thriving, good fortune, and successful social status. Prosperity often produces profuse wealth, including other factors which can profusely wealth in all degrees, such as happiness and health. Hell, Nigeria is the most happiest people in the world. Stop telling lies. We are the most happiest people in the abject poverty, the insecurity. Your life means nothing to your government. Ṣé mọ̀ pé life yìí kò ní value fún Nigerian government of President Tinubu and the APC and the PDP that were there. The PDP spent 16 years. Your life was as useless as the tissue paper in my toilet. That is why most of you are struggling today. Because government ò rí yín as people. That is why we say Nigeria is a zoo. Because you will expect that the zoo should respect animals and give animals their rights. You dare not mistreat animals in the European country. You will not. You dare not. Kí lorúkọ bọ̀bọ̀ tó fi ẹsẹ̀ gbá ológbò tó ń gbá football? Ẹ wo bó ṣe fi ayé ẹ̀ tó fi ta kite nígbà tó ṣe. Kò mọ̀ pé wọ́n ń fídíò òun. Ó kick ológbò. Ológbò yẹn ni wọ́n wọlé tó dẹ̀ pa nínú ilé Ìgbòho because wọ́n believe pé ibẹ̀ ni agbára Ìgbòho wà. Because somebody gave information. Pé bàbá ti fẹ́ mú olóyè Ìgbòho agbára yẹn inú ológbò yẹn ló wà. Ẹ kọ́kọ́ pa ológbò yẹn. And the cat was killed and taken away. Okay, I'm told that his name is Zuma. He plays for West Ham in East London. Ládùúgbò wa tẹ̀lé wa. Okay. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mi ò wo football. Ó fẹsẹ̀ gbá ológbò. Wọ́n make sure pé wọ́n destroy. I don't know whether he's still playing football. But òun gan mọ̀ pé ológbò yẹn ni ó wá wọlé ó dẹ̀ pa. And Yoruba people are happy. Ṣe bá sọ pé kò lágbára. Nígbà tó ń bọ̀ kó lágbára kí ló sá. Ẹ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀. Ẹ gbọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ mùgọ̀ táwọn kan tún sọ. Wọ́n náà ṣì ń gbá football, all right. So, we have been able to identify what Baba Akintoye is trying to let me pass to you. Wọ́n ní part ọ̀nà. A ti wà lójú ọ̀nà Nàìjíríà for 63 years. Wọ́n ní tíwájú ò bá ṣe lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sẹ́yìn. Ibi tí a ti ní problem nìyẹn. Mo kí ọba Bariga. Kábíyèsí. Mo kí yín dáadáa. Ẹ kú àbẹ̀yẹ̀wò. Àwọn yẹn lọ bá. No. Ọba ni bàbá yẹn. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè o. Àtótó ayé o. Ọba Jagunmolu Palace in Lagos State, the famous royal palace of the sitting king of Olawon Akiba Timson. Àwọn yẹn ni àwọn ọba tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ bọ́ nínú oko ẹrú. Kí ló dé? Kí la ṣe? 1914 amalgamation wọn ló ti expire. Kí ló dé? Ta la ṣẹ̀? The 1914 tóyìnbó fi kó gbogbo wa papọ̀. Brother mi kan pè mí, wọ́n ní Mr. Koiki, we are backwards in Yoruba land. Ẹlòmíì rò pé torí pé òun rí iná díẹ̀díẹ̀ lò ní vicinity ẹ̀ because big boy ni the elite ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń make owó tó ń ṣe pé ó ń fa drugs ó ń lo ó ń fọwọ́ pawọ́dà ó wá ti ní air condition ó ti ní mọ́tò kékeré kan Ọlọ́run kẹ́ nínú Nàìjíríà. Ó wá ní kí ni wọ́n Yorùbá ò lọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹja máa ṣe Nàìjíríà lọ wèrè because kò lè ní understanding pé history ìran ẹ̀ ló ń parẹ́ lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ yẹn. The more you are saving Nigeria, the more your history is taken away. You don't have to believe me. O ní láti gbà mí gbọ́. Èmi ò ń ṣe pastor ẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe imam. Mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe babaláwo. All I'm saying is that we have something tí ọba Bariga, the Jagunmolu tree of Bariga, the Royal Highness Ọba Gbọ́láhàn Akínbà Timson tí mo ṣí fìlà fún bàbá. Àwọn bàbá tó mọ history pé ìran Yorùbá ìran wa ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú. Because the moment your lineage is gone, èdè bá ti kúrò, gbogbo òyìnbó tá à ń sọ nínú Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó máa pa ìran ẹrẹ́ tá a bá tètè dìde sí. Àwọn kan wá dìde, olóyè dìde, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá dìde. Wọ́n ní enough is enough. Àwọn Yorùbá kan ní no, ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa ṣèjọba Nàìjíríà lọ kí gbogbo wa wà nínú ẹ̀. Àwọn kan tẹ̀ tún suggest pé ká lọ ṣe party, political party, ká lè fi mú establishment Yorùbá jáde kúrò. Nígbà tásìkò bá tó, wọ́n ní fùrọ̀ máa là nígbà tó bá lọ ṣe gá nínú mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ǹkan sí. Ẹ má bínú pa nílé máa dárúkọ. There's no time for that sometimes. And I know the reason why, because it will take us away from a serious discussion. Mo nọ́rọ̀ Yorùbá nation kò kí ń ṣeré rárá, kò ń ṣe ta mama nígbà yes nǹkan kan lè má ṣe fẹ́. It is a serious important matter. tó jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ pé níbo ni ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ wà àti pé níbo la wà nísìn. What is the gain from the contraction known as Nigeria? Ǹjẹ́ orí prosperity látijọ́ tó ti bí wọ́n sínú Nigeria? Àti pé tí wọ́n bá wá rí prosperity, ǹjẹ́ ìran tó ń bọ̀ in another 500 years, because you will all die including myself, but kọ́nà fún wa lẹ́mìí gúngùn ká dàgbà ká dògbó. Why are you being selfish about you? Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n nìkan ló ń wà selfish nípa tiẹ̀ nìkan? Kí ló dé tó rò tàwọn tó ń bọ̀ lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la? In tó yẹ ká máa rò nìyẹn. Àwọn tó ń bọ̀ ní ẹ̀yìn wa, how are they going to survive in this madness created by the British known as Nigeria? That should be our main concern and priority. But ìwọ tó tẹ̀tí rí prosperity. One of my auntie in Nigeria, ẹ mọ̀ káwa Yorùbá, a ní auntie, a ní sister, bá àtẹ ẹ̀ mọ́ra rí auntie náà ní gbogbo wa. Wọ́n ní Koiki, in tó jẹ́ káwọn dá sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, mo bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bá mi ṣètò lórí pension tí wọ́n fi ń jẹ àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù ní Nigeria. The pension of the elderly people that have worked all their lives serving Nigeria. Auntie mi ní Koiki, bàbá mi jìyà kò rí owó pension gbà. Ó ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú federal government for more than 30 years plus. Kò rí owó yẹn gbà. He died. Wọ́n wá ní kó tó kú, ó wá náà wọ́n wá concerned nípa the next generation, but the next generation are here abusing us every day. Why are you gonna sit in UK and be calling Nigerian zoo? Ìwọ ọ̀tẹ̀ tí ìrìṣẹ́ nísìn, you have left university, ó ti ṣe tán ní polytechnic, ní technical school, POS ló ń ṣe, òun wọ ọ̀kadà, òun wa márúwá, ṣé ìtàn wà ní advanced country nìyẹn? Ó mọ̀ pé àwọn ìlú olórí burúkú ló máa ń lo kẹ̀kẹ́ tó fi ń ṣe transportation. Tó bá fẹ́ wà civilized, ó ní máa fi ọ̀kadà máa fi move àwọn èèyàn from point A to B, láti Èkìtì dé Kwara dé Kogi dé Ọ̀ṣun. Ẹ wá ń wọ ọ̀kadà kiri, ó wá ń gbóná ní gbogbo ìsàlẹ̀, ẹ wá ń wẹ̀tẹ̀ pẹ̀lú omi tútù. Bàbá yẹn ní tá bá wa mọ́tò tá wa micra títí gbogbo ẹ̀pọ̀n á máa gbóná. Ẹ má bínú fọ́rọ̀ àlùfànṣá yẹn, ó ṣọ̀sán Friday. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹ jẹ́ mùsùlùmí. Ìjà Yorùbá nation, àwọn kan wà tán jàjà ìsìn kò ń ṣe lórí platform yìí. This platform love and respect every religion that you believe in, because religion kan lára nítorí ẹ̀jà. Mò ń jà nítorí ìran tèmi ni, èmi ń jà nítorí ìran tèmi, èmi ọmọ tí wọ́n ń jà fún. Tá a bá tẹ mọ̀ nípa Nàìjíríà tẹ́lẹ̀, gbogbo ilé ìta wa ń gbọ́ sétí pé àní Nàìjíríà kò kí ń ṣe country. Why is that proving to be good for you? Because etí ẹ ti di òfin gbọ́ ni, kò ń ṣe pé o mọ̀ gbọ́, o kò wà in denial pé ó ṣe lè jẹ́rú Koiki yẹn lá máa sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, kò tí ì dàgbà tó bóyá bí àwọn bàbá 80 tí wọ́n ti fail tí wọ́n sì ń believe in wọn Nàìjíríà, àbáwọn ìyá 70 tí wọ́n ò rí pension gbà. Ìyá tó rí pension gbà ní Nàìjíríà tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, ó tún sọ pé Yorùbá nation lè bọ́ sí. Àǹtí mi wá sọ fún mi pé bàbá tó bí òun lọ́mọ died without collecting his pension. Can you imagine? The same pension ní Tinubu government of APC ó tún fẹ́ lọ tọwọ́ bọ pension tàsìkò yìí. That means that àwọn bàbá ẹ, àwọn àǹtí ẹ àbí ìwọ tó ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́, wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbé pension ẹ lọ fi ṣe coastal railway project àbí coastal road láti Calabar lọ sí Lagos. Project tí kò wọ́n parí Lagos Ìbàdàn expressway, wọ́n fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ project láti Èkó lọ sí Calabar. Kí la fẹ́ lọ mú ní Calabar? Kí ni business wa pẹ̀lú Calabar? You can see the real madness in that zoo. Èmi ò mọ tí wọ́n believe in, ìran tèmi lèmi torí ẹ̀ ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yìí fún. Kọ́lọ́n dẹ̀ san mí lẹ́san, k'Elédùmarè san mí lẹ́san fún gbogbo ìjàmbá ṣe. That's all. Èmi ò ní ìdẹ̀sán lọ́wọ́ anybody. But wọ́n ní tó bá ń kọ ìtàn Yorùbá, wọ́n á máa kọ èmi náà mọ̀ pé arákùnrin kan wà níjọ́kíjọ́ tó bá bọ́ sí lágbára Elédùmarè, ìyẹn kù sọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, whichever of the God you believe in. Koikijọ́ ní Yorùbá nation máa bọ́ sí. You continue with your own awareness and evidence that Nigeria is not meant to be won. That's all. And when the right time comes and everything is right, everybody will know. For now, it's all about education, awareness. Koiki wọ́n gbọ́ wa, ìwọ náà tó ọ̀tọ́ pé wọ́n gbọ́, lọ bá wa sọ fún ẹni tó gbọ́ pé ǹjẹ́ ó ti gbọ́ pé kí ni pé ìran Yorùbá ti dìde wọ́n náà sì kó tó. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọba tí wọ́n dìde tiwa. A ní kí ni meaning?
Prosperity. Prosperity.
Prosperity is not wealth pé kó lówó lọ́wọ́ kó kọ́ tẹ̀ jí láàárọ̀ káyé má máa já pé tó bá jáde nísìn tí dánfó tó wọ́ bá gbé gbàs within 8 minutes maximum ambulance dẹ̀ máa gbé ẹ kúrò ńbẹ̀ tó bá lé kókó helicopter máa park wàá máa gbé ẹ lọ wọ́n ní máa béèrè pé ǹjẹ́ olówó ká tó tọ́jú ẹ. Many Nigerians have died for the negligence of system that failed them. But the same Nigerians are having hope that one day everything will change. I am not one of those anymore. So we're going to go straight to the conversation. Prosperity. ORILEEDE. 30 people were crushed by a lorry in Owerri. Àwọn tó ń gbé ní ọ̀nà ọbẹ̀ wọ́n ní Koiki help us to talk about this one. 30 people were crushed in Owerri just last week Saturday. There will be another one this weekend. It is not a cause. It is because the system is not put in place to safeguard the lives and properties of millions of Nigerians. So Nigerians are just waking up and then they pray to God and say, God, just protect me. In a country that has abundance of wealth, prosperity, but that wealth is not translate, transfer, whichever one you want to use. Wọ́n gbé wealth yẹn, wọ́n gbé fún ọmọ Yorùbá, wọ́n gbé fún ọmọ Igbo, wọ́n gbé fún ọmọ Hausa, wọ́n gbé fún àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù, wọ́n gbé mọ́ra wọn lọ́wọ́, wọ́n wá gbé sígbà àyà. Àwọn anúdà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ dìbò ó yẹ gba díẹ̀ nú ẹ̀, àwọn fún yín ní peanut. And I know Yoruba people, wọ́n wò mí báyìí nísìn. They are waiting for 2027 so that they can get something that will only last them for 3 weeks. Some of them face cap. Wàá máa wá béèrè pé ṣé ìyá aṣọ ń jẹ yín ni? You might as well go to Itoku in Abeokuta kẹ́ lọ ra àwọn aṣọ tó dá báyìí. Kẹ́ máa wọ̀ sí ara. Tó bá lè wọ t-shirt tọkọ̀kọ̀ APC sí lára. APC t-shirt tó máa wọ̀ dóṣòdì tó máa nà lẹ́gbàá. Mad people all over the place. And we are here talking about the history and the roots of the Yoruba people as part of the exit plan. Some say, no, we don't want that. Koiki, no, we don't want that. I've even been given a better dictionary meaning. Prosperity means having success, wealth, and abundance in various aspects of life. It does not mean money. But I have prosperity because I know that the system has been put in place to give me the wealth. If something goes wrong, I know who to contact without looking for the help on the social media. But majority of Nigerians today, they are dancing naked on TikTok. Oh yeah, the power tap. Oh yeah, give us gun. In a country that has abundance in Yoruba land, in the southeast, in the middle belt, in the north, there is abundance for everybody. But the abundance is not circulated because the West does not want you to be rich. That is why they lambast you with the IMF, they give you loan. Nigeria has been locked that until the dissolution of Nigeria, nobody will have prosperity. You will struggle. You will kill yourself. Some of you will buy. Please don't commit suicide. That's all I will say. A young girl committed suicide somewhere, I believe, in the east because of the pressure from the zoo country, from our lecturers. Bóyá lecturer yẹn fẹ́ désàlẹ̀ yẹn ó fẹ́ lọ wo tó wà níbẹ̀ tí kò kàn án. Because you have no right under the skirt of any woman. Tó kìí ṣe ìyàwó ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ ṣe girlfriend ẹ̀. If it's your girlfriend tó bá wùn kó gbé sókè kó wọ́ sísàlẹ̀. But when it's not yours, you respect those female women. Fúlàní ṣe tiẹ̀, wọ́n ń bá wọn sùn, wọ́n ń gé oko, wọ́n ń fi oríṣiríṣi ṣe wá nínú igbó. Gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ṣe tiẹ̀, wọ́n ń maltreat àwọn èèyàn. Ọmọ yẹn wọ́n ní ó wá lọ ṣe kí ni, ó lọ parẹ́ látara pé lecturer ń fún ní pressure kò jẹ́ kó pass exam. Ṣé àti mọ̀ pé ìdí kò ṣe jẹ́ pass exam pé because lecturer yẹn fẹ́ dé ìsàlẹ̀ ọmọ yẹn wá sọ pé no èmi ò ní gbà ò ní gbà èmi ni lecturer bíbá. Who do you complain to? Èèyàn kan pè mí whether I believe it or not ó náà ti wà ní prison ọmọ Yorùbá for the last only God knows. Ó sọ fún mi I don't have to believe him. But I want a system that if you commit crime, let that crime, like the Izaini, Alice Madueke, she's not yet found guilty, so I'm going to be very careful. But she has been found dipping her hands in a corruption case that has now been brought into by the National Crime Agency. I saw her at the court. She will be appearing next year. Until then, we will know whether she will be found guilty of that crime. But she would have to prove that she did not dip her hands in the system where corruption was captured. And for the National Crime Agency to tell you that you have done something, let's just hope that she has not done it. But ọ̀rákùnrin pè mí, ó ní Mr. Koiki, ó ní wọ́n ní ajálè, èmi dẹ̀ kọ́ ni mo jálè, mo yáyàn ní mọ́tò mi ni, wọ́n wá lọ fi ṣe jàǹbá ní Ìbàdàn. Ìdí ìrókò lòun wà àwọn tó ń ṣe fàyàwọ́ business ni. Eventually it was captured. Casey àwọn hangẹ̀ ó náà wà ní prison ló ti ń communicate pẹ̀lú mi. As of today I have the voice note. I am not here to defend criminals. If you commit crime, the law should go after you. But how many innocent Nigerians, wọ́n wò mí báyìí, your friends, your families, your neighbors that have been kept in kirikiri all over Nigeria, is Nnamdi Kanu a criminal? I'm asking. Because Yoruba people like that Nnamdi Kanu, is it a criminal? What is he asking for? Wole Soyinka said, and I quote, let's go to that before we move further. Wole Soyinka, our respected man, Akinwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka, 89 years old, same age bracket with Babakitoye. He knows that Yoruba people should exit Nigeria. But that is not where we're going. Wole Soyinka was in the news today, or probably maybe yesterday. But the news was picked up, I think it was yesterday. And let's use Sahara Reporter, even though many outlets have picked it as well. Let's hear what the Nobel laureate, our proud Wole Soyinka, ẹja gbọ́n kan tó sọ nípa Nnamdi Kanu. I am not here to sell Igbo to you. If you like hate them, they hate you as well. We hate each other. Let's go separate ways. But the argument is, what has he done? I'm talking about Nnamdi Kanu. He's not a secessionist. Don't listen to that Ruben Abati and all these nonsense medias in that zoological country you call Nigeria that will tell you that they are separatists. When the military were committing crime against Nigerians by doing coup and killing many Nigerians, nobody saw it. But when the Yoruba people came out and said, we want self-determination, oh no, there must be secessionists. They want to hijack the government. No, we are not hijacking the government. We are negotiating with the government. It's entirely up to President Tinubu to listen, to accept, or say no. He has up to June 15 to come back to us on our letter to him. That is the normal process, and that is what is called diplomacy. While we continue to negotiate, but Wole Soyinka is asking a question. He's asking a question. He is only buried on big Tinubu, and I hope he can tell Tinubu, because we know that Soyinka has access to Asoro. Maybe this is what he needs to. Look, Nigerians are thinking that Nnamdi Kanu is in the DSS custody. Nothing can happen again. We have locked him away after Buhari kidnapped and renditioned him back to Nigeria. I bet you that we are just going to get more problems in the near future. I don't know how soon. Continue to say, just they do online, nothing will happen. I pray that nothing happens. But Wole Soyinka say Nigeria is making a mistake. Wọ́n ṣe àṣìṣe, and I pray every day gbogbo tí Nàìjíríà máa ṣe tó máa ṣe àṣìṣe tí ọmọ Nàìjíríà náà máa fi dìde pé à ń bèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa wá dẹ̀ kojú kọ ìjọba. Ìyẹn lèmi gbàdúrà lójoojúmọ́. I don't pray for the progress of that messed up country called Nigeria, because it will never be progress. There will never be prosperity. That is why Yaya Bello can take $720,000 out of the government of Kogi State that doesn't have much, and then pay it to an American school in Abuja, and Nigerians are just sleeping there and waiting, and they will be commenting. That is all we can do, because that is the only thing you can do. But when the right time is right, Moki sister mi show ekoribe ekabo soreto adekushe takuntakun. And also to all our medias that are listening, probably or if you comment. I do so sometimes. I wonder the program, but because sometimes you just don't want to let distraction of your, and don't share programmers. I just leave them. Tibade, if you appreciate one, even on my comment. So my sister will show you a Koribe. Wole Soyinka sọ pé Nigeria òun ṣe mistake, òun ṣe àṣìṣe by keeping tóun di Nnamdi Kanu sínú prison of DSS. Mo ní tí iwájú ò bá ṣe lọ, ẹ jẹ́ á padà sẹ́yìn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ìta ń béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ wa ní lábẹ́ òfin àgbáyé, but kò likely pé Tinubu máa fún wa, kò ní fún wa, àti kọ lẹ́tà sí. Ó kù sí lọ́wọ́. And we will keep the awareness going, and we keep it moderate, non-violent, and we have stopped that for a very long time. Ọmọ Yorùbá rò pé Ìgbòho máa ti wọlé àti bàǹkan jẹ́, ó yá Koiki, ó yá ẹ máa bàǹkan jẹ́. No. Oh yes, my utterances are very high, because I am preparing your mind for another day and another time. But for now, we are still having a discussion, and we expect you as Yoruba people, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ máa fi owó sínú ibi tó ní ká fowó sí, not my private account, not contribution to me. It is a contribution to the YSDM called 10 Mewa. Donate so that we can have enough fund. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe láyé tẹ́ ẹ̀ need the fund. Ìyẹn làwọn olóṣèlú náà ṣe ń jí owó tó pọ̀ so that wàá lè fi suppress wa ní 2027. If you think that there's no corruption already in this messed up government, you are living in denial, because Tinubu is a weaker element. Kò lè rí gbogbo tó ń lọ nínú Nàìjíríà. How can Nigeria? No, it is too big, because if it's not big, how come to rí prosperity? Oh, Nigeria is not big, Koiki. America is okay, it's big. They are working together. India is no. Nigeria is not giving you prosperity. Oh, rí àṣeyọrí ṣe nínú Nigeria. Kí ló wá ń force rẹ̀ fún ní Nigeria? That should be the question tó yẹ kó máa bí rẹ̀. Soyinka ní, Nigeria, 89 lèmi, kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ ìdàgbà kí túbọ̀ dògbó sí. Àwọn tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ Nnamdi Kanu, àwọn tó ń bọ̀ nígbà Simon Ekpa ò ní gbà ni mo sọ fún yín. It will be the monster that you don't want. I don't know their plans. I am not in their system. But I can tell you that the Biafra are not going to allow what took place in 67, 68, up to the 3 years tí British ń bá Biafra jà. Wọ́n wá ń lo Nigerian government as the proxies. sí ní 1960 àti wà ní 2024. The world is much more open. We have exposed too much of Nigeria that the world is now also worried. America is concerned about the breakup of Nigeria because they can see that it's going to happen. When is nobody knows. Máa sọ pé kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀. Wàá rí pé Boko Haram tó ń disturb yín bó ṣe sọ pé kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn. Lẹ́ni nísìn lè rìn 300 miles. If you don't know what 300 miles is, maybe 300 kilometers. In the last few days, I've been a little bit outside London, like I said, doing my own little journalism work. And each time tí bá wà lórí motorway, tí mo wà lórí M12, M23, ADIS, EDA, mo máa wò pé ṣé bí ṣe ń drive ṣá ṣé wọ́n ní kidnap me? Is the psychology of what I see all the time in Nigeria, how people are being kidnapped and taken into the forest. So sometimes tí bá ń drive máa pé ṣé Fúlàní ò ní jáde pẹ̀lú bọn kọ́ kidnap me báyìí. Màá ṣèrántí pé ṣe sùúrù ọ̀rẹ́ mẹ́ ò sí ní Nàìjíríà ìwọ wà 3,000 miles away. But UK is also always on the high alert. As I speak to you, àti wà ní number 3 lára márùn the threat level in this country. Ìlú tí mò ń gbé is likely to be attacked by terrorists. Mo ń sọ fún yín ẹ̀rọ pé mò ń ṣeré. British is not joking with them is ọ̀rọ̀ because ẹ mọ̀ pàwọn ìran Yorùbá ni wá ẹnu ẹdùn orí bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní UK tó bá ti rí nǹkan tó right ládùúgbò ẹ ọmọ ọlọ́pàá ò sí ní Nàìjíríà because UK is currently under a threat by the terrorists of ISIS tó wà Nàìjíríà, ISWAP tó wà Nàìjíríà, Boko Haram and multiple terrorists wọ́n fẹ́ attack ìlú yìí wọ́n ò dẹ̀ gbé pé Jésù wá gbà wá. They are doing intelligent work and they are hoping that they can nib it and copy it and stop it. See it, say it, salted. Tó bá rí nǹkan kan tó ṣe ọlọ́pàá ni kò sọ má ṣe pé má pe Jésù ọ̀rọ̀ Jésù kọ́ lélẹ̀. But in Nigeria we have a system that had failed us for 63 years and every day we are here talking. Àwọn kan ní they play bí ẹ̀mí náà máa pa bí àwọn ni time will tell. Because Soyinka ni Nnamdi Kanu if is okay. Number one, Nigeria signed a treaty. You don't kidnap people and bring it back to Nigeria and never fẹ́ ṣe ẹjọ́ kí lẹ fẹ́ ṣe. Ó jump bail kó jókòó sínú ilé kó pa ní 2017 bó ṣe fẹ́ pa olóyè Ìgbòho ní 2021. Ó gbọ́ àbí ó lè gbọ́ yẹn because ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn Igbo and I'm not here on their behalf to plead for you to love the Igbos. Soyinka ti sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé mọ̀ pé wọ́n ní ìtagbàlagbà ń rí ọmọ kékeré ò lè rí òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó ń bọ̀ mò ń ṣẹ́nu kò ní. My mom told me yesterday ìwọ ṣáà máa ṣe education fún wa ìwọ máa educate wa fìyí tó kù sílẹ̀ mo fẹ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ but mo ń kọ́ because mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìyá mi but àgbàlagbà ń sọ fún yín pé ẹ̀ ń kíkù Nnamdi Kanu ẹ̀rọ pọ́rọ̀ Nàìjíríà kò ní rí ibi tó ń lọ ó máa rí wàhálà ń bọ̀ mo ń sọ fún yín. Soyinka sọ èmi kọ́ ni mo sọ Soyinka ní keeping Nnamdi Kanu is going to bring problem to Nigeria. ẹ tẹ̀ sí kọ́kọ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀ náà kẹ́tẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n bí tó ń lọ. ẹ̀ ń sọ pé dey play ó wà lórí TikTok gbòòs tó bá délẹ̀ báyìí ọlọ́mọ nírọ́mọ mọ́ lọ bèrè lọ́wọ́ Palestinian over 38,000 people have been killed by Israel over 83,000 wọ́n wà nínú ìlà ìlò ó ń sọ pé kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ dey play ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ èmi kọ́ ni mo sọ Soyinka ló sọ mò ń kó tẹ̀ ní kẹ́ má bàa kó tèmi mọ́ because I'm trying to be very careful pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ tèmi. ó ń bọ̀ gbogbo wa la máa jẹ breakfast máa sọ pé dey play kó wà lórí TikTok ó ní rí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì fi ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ nígbà tọ́rọ̀ yẹn bá délẹ̀ abẹ́ Elon Musk bóyá bá wa send the satellite tẹ́lẹ̀ máa fi ṣe íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì. Nigeria is making a mistake keeping Nnamdi Kanu. Ẹ rò pé Nnamdi Kanu dàbí ojúkú. Ẹ rò pé Simon Ekpa ní òun ò kì í ṣe Mandela. Ẹ má fòun sí Mandela. Ẹ máa fi orúkọ tòun náà pàtàn ni. Ó náà ò kì í ṣe Gandhi. Gandhi ló ń ṣe peace. Gandhi throughout tó fi protest like here. He was an activist. Peaceful means ni. Simon Ekpa ní òun ò kì í ṣe àwọn méjèèjì. Ẹ má compare òun. Ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn yẹn ọ̀tọ̀ lòun ẹ máa ní dey play àwọn Biafra ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ń dá owó síbì kan ẹ rò pé owó tó ń dá yẹn wọ́n fi ń ṣeré ni wọ́n fi ń ra nǹkan sílẹ̀ ni mo kàn sọ fún yín ni torí pé àwa Yorùbá a máa ń fẹ́ sọ pé Biafra ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní ìlú òyìnbó wọ́n wá ń yọ àfowó wọn wọ́n sẹ́ndẹ̀ sí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wọn pé ẹ máa fi tọ́jú nǹkan sílẹ̀ fún wa ìwọ wá ni wọ́n ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ eré lòrò fún àṣẹ mo sọ fún yín pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tá gbé dání kò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ eré ẹ sọ fún bàbá Tinubu kó bá àwa sọ̀rọ̀ kó bá Biafra sọ̀rọ̀ kò ní láti accept á ti mọ̀ pé weaker element ni Tinubu ṣiṣẹ́ fáwọn northerners ni a ti rí yẹn already àmọ́ kò tẹ̀ sí bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ kí tempo yẹn lè lọ́lẹ̀ díẹ̀ ṣẹ́ni bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń gbé yìí tó bá di gbàs lórí M1 ò ní rántí mú pátá kúrò nínú ilé ìwòwò ló máa jáde ló ṣèbí gbà tí ṣẹlẹ̀ tán ní bọ́ǹbù kan explode ẹ rántí gbogbo yìí lẹ rántí náà inú ìrà làwọn èèyàn wọlé sí nígbà tó ò ní rí kankan tó bá tẹ̀ ẹjọ́ lọ́sàn-án wá tẹ̀ mọ́ bí tó fẹ́ yà sí tó bá lẹ́jọ́ lọ́wọ́ alálẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀ níná tí wọ́n fún yín ní 24 hours light. Oh my God. 2006 ọ̀sán máàárọ̀ bọ́ǹbù tó ń yìn nílùú ẹ̀ ó rí ipò bọ́ọ̀sì ni ẹni bá lọ eléyìí ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ṣe torí pé wọ́n wà láàbù no ìyẹn mo ṣe ń dárúkọ ti bíbá iná àsìkò bọ̀ can you open the window properly please mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí Nigeria is making a mistake keeping Nnamdi Kanu in the prison. I am not a spokesman for the Biafra. Mo Constantine Soyinka sọ ni. Ẹ ń ṣe mistake. America ń bá Iran wọ́n sì negotiate as big war. Do you know that America ni kò jẹ́ kí wọ́n change part helicopter to explode àbí tó dẹ̀ crash dẹ̀ ni whichever one. Èyí tí Iran president ń lò yẹn èmi ò tẹ̀ mọ́ reason tó ṣì ń lo American product ẹ ti mọ̀ pé èrè rí pàtẹ́ra kí lẹ wá ń drive helicopter wọn fún tẹ́ ẹ lọ sí bòmí kẹrẹ helicopter. So some are blaming America because láti 1979 after the Iranian revolution tó bá mọ̀ tán pè bẹ́ẹ̀ go and Google it Iranian revolution of 1979. òun ló change recent America àti Iran they've gone their separate ways but I am not here to discuss that mo kàn fún yín because part of the history many things have happened tó ń fa gbogbo awuyewuye tó ń lọ lágbàáyé but kò sí bó ṣe lè jẹ́ tó ṣe mọ̀ pé America ṣì ń bá Russia sọ̀rọ̀ even though pé wọ́n bára wọn jà. There are still places that wọ́n ṣì ń bára wọn sọ̀rọ̀ ní United Nations Security Council. So kí Tinubu máa rò pé enemy ni Nnamdi Kanu sí Nigeria. You have to open room for dialogue. Dialogue ni gbogbo nǹkan láti kọ́kọ́ fi bẹ̀rẹ̀. Tí dialogue ò bá lọ bó ṣe jẹ́ kó lọ ló máa ń fa yánpọnyánrin ló máa di orí gbòs lórí M1. So we hope that this government kò ní ṣe the same mistake tí Buhari ṣe. A lè ní ẹ̀bọ̀ ìgbà tí Buhari wà bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ Igbo ṣe kankan àmọ́ plan wọn. We don't know it. But we know that things will change. So let's read a little bit before we go into the conversation. Professor Wole Soyinka, Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria from Nairobi ní June 2021 tó bá di June 2021 June 2024 22 23 24 á di ọdún mẹ́ta ẹ wá tì mọ́lé wọ́n wá gbé dé court olórí burúkú George àwa ní òun ò jẹ́ kó gba béèlẹ̀ ẹ dá padà lọ sọ́dọ̀ DSS no problem. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa mo kí ọmọdé mo kí àgbàlagbà mo júbà àwọn tó láyé tó lọ́run. What kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu? Look, we don't have to like him, but you must give room for negotiation and dialogue. dialogue ẹ lè máa ṣe dialogue kẹ́dẹ̀ bọ̀kẹ́ wá kàn sọ pé kèrè sí nǹkan kan tó lè ṣe ìbẹ́ orí social media ní gbogbo ti ń pariwo orí ibẹ̀ náà láti máa pariwo because ibẹ̀ la ní access sí. I don't have access to the full transmission in Nigeria. Kanu was extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria from Nairobi by the Fulani government of the former president Muhammadu Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo with the help of the Kenya government. Nobel laureate Professor Soyinka has said it is a mistake. Àṣìṣe Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ àṣàṣe tíyàn bá ti ń ṣe nǹkan tó bá ti di pé ó ti ń ṣe àṣìṣe nǹkan mi ti dé bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn but èmi ń gbàdúrà pé gbogbo ohun tí ó máa jẹ́ àṣìṣe fún ìjọba yìí tí ìran Yorùbá máa fi lè bọ́ òun ni kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn kí nǹkan má dọ́gba fún wọn kó má ní any reason láti gbọ́ra wọn yé wọ́n sì ń gbọ́ra wọn yé nísìn wọ́n ń gbọ́ra wọn yé lọ́n change national anthem pẹ̀lú gbogbo rògbòdìyàn tó ń lọ Nàìjíríà national anthem ló kọ́ àwọn torí pé kò tí ì débẹ̀. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has said it is a mistake for the Nigerian government ìjọba Nigeria to keep the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra and they are not terrorists. Okay? Nnamdi Kanu in prison. In a recent interview with the Noble Nigeria, the literary icon stressed that Nnamdi Kanu had the right to pursue his cause for a separate nation of Biafra. Oríwọ̀ tó lọ school. Ìwọ náà ni ìwọ tó ń wò mí. Yorùbá nation wọn lẹ́ ń fẹ́. Ṣùgbọ́n kan tí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n sọ. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ní Professor Wole Soyinka ó kàwé ju bàbá àti ìyá ẹ̀ lọ náà. Ó gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ orí tí mo gbé glasses mi síwájú báyìí. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ òmùgọ̀ ń sọ pé Koiki Yorùbá nation wọn lẹ́ ń fẹ́. Ó ní ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ ni ló ń béèrè fún Biafra. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa là ń béèrè fún Yorùbá nation. Orí bó ṣe ń wò mí kí ẹran orí rẹ̀ sí. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìran wa òun sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà Nàìjíríà wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìran tiẹ̀ ìran ẹni Nàìjíríà. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wole Soyinka sọ pé ẹ̀tọ́ Nnamdi Kanu ni ìtọ́ ń pẹ̀sù yẹn kò ń ṣòwò nìkan pépà tèmi lélẹ́yìn ẹ̀yàn ará London kúkú ń ka pépà tára outside London àwọn lè má ka pépà journalist ni wá agbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ tó ń lọ mo ti sọ fún yín láàárọ̀ òun lélẹ́yìn SNP wọ́n ní leader àwọn Scotland National Party ó ní election July 4 yìí tó ń bọ̀ ní UK àti ní England àti ní Scotland àti ní Wales ó máa dá lórí independent àwọn ará Scotland ìtẹ́ ẹ̀ka àwọn Yorùbá politician máa ṣe nìyẹn o bọ̀ jẹgúrú jẹra olè wọn jàkàrà níbí jẹ̀kọ́ lọ́hùn tara wọn nìkan lọ́mọ̀ kò ń ṣe tara wọn nìkan lọ́mọ̀ ní Yàyà Bello ìṣèbójú ló ka mọ́ la fi mọ̀ ní kò ń ṣe ni ló ti ń sanwó school bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yọ $720,000 ní the same state tó ti pa Tolúlọpọ̀ Rótilé I'm sure pé tá a bá dé Ìjùnwú local government ní Kogi níbi tárábìnrin ti wá tí a mọ̀ sí the flying officer mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ láàárọ̀ ìkọjá kọ́lọ́mbà túbọ̀ tẹ̀sáfẹ́fẹ́ rẹ̀ kó foríjì àṣìṣe kó parẹ́ òkú ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ sùn gbogbo ẹni tó bá lọ́wọ́ nídìí ikú Tolúlọpọ̀ Rótilé ní Nàìjíríà ó gbọ́dọ̀ mú òkú yìí ó gbọ́dọ̀ disturb wọn tí Nàìjíríà máa fi lọ ní state ẹ̀ ní gọ́vnà kan wá yọ $720,000 ó dẹ̀ lọ jù sí school fáwọn ọmọ tiẹ̀ but kò kan ayé náà ìbí nǹkan tó máa sọ fún mi nìyẹn Koiki yẹn kò kan òun ló máa kọ́kọ́ jẹ owó ni òòrè òmùgọ̀ òrí bí wọ́n ṣe ń ronú. He was never accused of physically bombing any place or killing anyone. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ni Wole Soyinka. Koiki má àwọn Biafra yẹn má jẹ́ ká ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú wọn. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn ó ní kò sí evidence kankan pé Nnamdi Kanu ó bomb anywhere àbó pààyàn. Àwọn wo ló pààyàn Nàìjíríà lẹ́nu? Ẹ bá ń fi sínú comment section. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyàwó àtẹ̀ ń wọlé lọ́tún lọ́sẹ̀ ẹ má bínú pàlè má dárúkọ torí àsìkò. Because this program is not going to be long. Probably another half an hour. Then we might do another one if I have the strength later tonight. Dá mi lóhùn. Mo ní àwọn wo ni criminal tó ń pààyàn, àwọn pààyàn, àwọn wo ni ní Nàìjíríà lénìí? Ẹ bá ń fi sí comment section. Wọ́n náà Fúlàní. Kò wọ́n á ṣe Fúlàní nìkan. The government as well is a killer. The Nigerian government is a killer government. O ní láti máa bí mi pé evidence dà. We know that the Fulanis are part of it, but the government itself is a killer government. You just have to look around you. Ìwọ tó wà Nàìjíríà nísìn kó wo ẹ̀gbẹ́, wo wájú, wo ẹ̀yìn, wo ẹ̀gbẹ́, and see if what I'm saying relate. Tó bá relate, just throw it in the bin. The separatist leader has been detained by the Department of State Service since he was brought to Nigeria under kidnap and rendition in June 2021, and is facing charges related to broadcasts alleged to have been made. Ṣebí broadcast yẹn lèmi ṣe nísìn, mo ń ṣe broadcast nísìn kọ́ wá ní gbogbo tí Koiki ń sọ ní London nìyẹn, terrorism act ní láti bo síbo ní tó jẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ ènìyàn nìyàn ń béèrè. How? Báwo lè ṣe mo ti ní kẹ́ lọ pààyàn? Ṣé mo ní kẹ́ lọ bomb anywhere? Ṣé mo ní kẹ́ lọ destroy anything? No. À ń béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa, à ń ṣe rally, à ń pín leaflet, à ń pín flyer. Fúlàní ń gbébọn, wọ́n ń wọlé, wọ́n ń pa wá, wọ́n ń yọ wá lọ́wọ́. Bàbá yẹn ní àwọn méjèèjì lọ ti gé, mo lè fọwọ́ jẹun mọ́. Kọ́lọ̀ ń bá wa wà pẹ̀lú bàbá òun. So let's move swiftly because of the time. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa DNA wa láàárọ̀ yìí. That the ìran Yorùbá ti exist for 8,000 years. Àwọn ló bá ti exist for 8,000 ìbá ti jọ ń gbé ní ìṣẹ̀jẹ̀ ká máa no. Ṣé tó bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn o ti ní àwọn ọpọlọ. Because ẹni tó ń ní àwọn ọpọlọ ló máa sọ pé ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ìyẹn ti pẹ́ kí ló pẹ́. Nàìjíríà ò tí ì dàgbà púpọ̀ náà kò tí ì dàgbà púpọ̀ ẹjẹ́ àlùmọ́lẹ̀ kó máa bá tiẹ̀ lọ káwa lè rí ayé gbé ká lè rí ayé lọ. Kò ń ṣe heaven tó fẹ́ lọ ni mò ń sọ o kọ́kọ́ tẹ̀sí gbé láyé yìí spiritually physically prosperity kó tó máa think about the other side of the ibi tó bá wọn tó fẹ́ lọ́ngbà yẹn subject to your religion. Long before the rest of the Black Africa, we Yoruba began to develop into urbanized people. Òyìnbó yẹn pọ̀ àbí? Màá break it down fún ẹ. Kí ló ń pè ní urbanize? Mo kí gbogbo yẹn tẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo meaning urbanize. Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? Tó bá sọ pé urbanize. Kí ni meaning? Meaning of urbanize in English, having lot of houses, offices. Ṣe rí pé bàbá kí tó yìí, ṣe rí pé bàbá yẹn, bàbá tó mọ history ni. Ó ní ìran Yorùbá wà urbanize, URBANIZED, Uniform Romeo Bravo Alpha November Indigo Zulu Echo Delta, urbanize. Pé ìran Yorùbá àti ní ilé tá à ń gbé kò ń ṣe inú igbó là ń gbé o. Inú igbó kọ́ là ń gbé káwọn òyìnbó tó dé ní 14th century. Wọ́n bá wa nínú ilé ni. Ó lè jẹ́ ilé amọ̀ but inú ilé yẹn máa ń tutù nítorí pé níta ó gbóná. O mọ̀ pé tó bá jáde ìta máa gbóná but tó bá wọnú ilé pẹ̀lú àwọn igi ọ̀pẹ nǹkan tó máa fi ń kọ́ àwọn ilé yẹn. Mo kí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby brother mi ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun sà. A gbọ́dọ̀ kí mídíà. Tí mídíà bá sọ ẹ lò síyàn èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ kí wọn. Ẹ̀yin tó kù kò ń ṣe pa àfojú payín rẹ àsìkò ni kò jẹ́ ká máa dárúkọ and when we are serious like this kò ń ṣe pa àkín serious ní gbogbo. start mentioning names can distract the program. Urbanize àti ń dágbé káwọn òyìnbó tó dé, the Europeans in 14th century. Àti nílé, àti ní factories, àti ní offices, having a lot of people who live and work in the cities and towns. Ẹ wo bí gbogbo city wa ṣe rí lẹ́nìí. Ẹ wo bí gbogbo agbègbè towns wa ṣe rí. Mo níṣẹ́, àwọn àti wà civilized bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Mo ń rí àwọn òrìn kan lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta yìí. Èmi gan mọ̀ pé UK yìí àbí Fúlàní máa jí mi gbé torí nígbà míì tó bá afẹ́ máa dàbí pé Fúlàní máa jáde. Ẹ mọ̀ pé psychology ni ìtìyàn rí lójoojúmọ́ ni lórí news Nàìjíríà kidnap àwọn tó kidnap pẹ̀lú Dangote cement Dangote ò tí ì rówó fún wọn ṣe báwọn yẹn ni kó bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ kọ́ release wọn náà ọ̀nà wọn fẹ́ 5 million. ìyẹn dé àwọn rural area ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí àwọn fídíò kéékèèké tá à ń jù sí lórí ṣọ́ọ̀tì wa. ìyẹn máa béèrè pé orí wo làwa gbé wáyé títí wọ́n rí báyìí títí wọ́n rí báyìí orí kan náà lájọ gbé wá àmọ́ àwọn ni wọ́n da ìrìn àjò tiwọn rú kí má ní tiwa àwa ní ká tutù ká dá padà ẹ̀kọ́ ìkìtà bá wà dá padà yẹn àwọn ọ̀làjọ́ máa ṣèjọba kò ní ṣe àwọn the same corrupt people. Oh come on, má máa sọ̀rọ̀ bí ọ̀dẹ̀ náà, má máa sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ní làákàyè. Jẹ́ kó change Nigerian constitution gan lẹ́ni kó wá rí bóyá àwọn olóṣèlú yẹn kí a sọ ta fẹ́ nínú constitution yẹn bóyá agbára tán nílé ní bóyá wá ní wàá rí bólóṣèlú mi abroad máa relocate lọ. Owó òfin jẹ́ kẹ́ máa ní the amendment of the constitution ní gbogbo tó ń lọ ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ń ṣe bill fún national anthem. You can see that country àrùn ọpọlọ ń bẹ níbẹ̀. Ẹ má bínú pé mo ní dárúkọ sẹ́ẹ̀. Mo ní àrùn ọpọlọ ń bẹ ní Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Nàìjíríà ti wà ní coma. Ní rí ẹni engineer àbí doctor tó máa revive ẹ̀ padà. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ó ti mẹ́ẹ̀mí tó pọ̀ lọ. Ó ti bayé jẹ́. Kò sí nǹkan tó ràn pẹ̀lú ilẹ̀ tá à ń sọ pé ilẹ̀ wa yẹn gangan àmọ́ orúkọ tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yẹn àdánwò ìbànújẹ́ ni. And it is time we let it go. I am not here to convince you. In tó máa convince ẹ ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni. Ìgbà tó mú àwa nígbàyà báyìí làwa náà rí pé àsìkò tó ká kúrò. Kò tí mú wọn nígbàyà. Tó bá mú ẹ nígbàyà tó wà lábroad léèní rẹ́rẹ́ ń rún nílùú yìí. Àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó ṣẹ̀ ń dé tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀ má fọmọ sínú ilé jáde. Ọmọ agbọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ nílùú òyìnbó. Ó gbọ́n tí mo sọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ tèmi ọ̀rọ̀ ànásẹ́ ní mo ní go into it too much. Mo kàn máa sọ pé má fi ọmọ sínú ilé tọmọ máa dá lọ sí school. Wàá gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ nílùú yìí social worker kò ń ṣe Nàìjíríà ló wà. Àwọn tó dé wọ́n lè sanwó school mọ́ wọ́n ti get stuck. Oríṣiríṣi problem lórí desk mi problem ojoojúmọ́ láwọn tó ṣẹ̀ ń dé. Ìkan náà ń sọ fún ọ̀rẹ́ kó tó máa gbéra bọ̀ pé bíyá kí wọ́n sì máa bọ̀ ná àbí kí wà síyàwó ẹ̀ máa bọ̀ kí ìyàwó ẹ̀ lè ṣe full time kí torí 20 hours tó ń bọ̀ wá ṣe yẹn kò ní kankan o kò dá lóhùn. Wọ́n ní láti February tó ti dé nísìn títí di bí ṣe bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ bóyá ló máa ríṣẹ́ lọ́la nílùú òyìnbó. London ni London la wà I feel alright. Máa jẹ́ káwọn glamoury fake life tán fi ń wọ̀n ẹ́ tó yẹ pé ẹni tó sì struggle á lọ dúró sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Mercedes á máa ya picture á máa upload. Èmi ò ní kó má wá UK o tó bá rí ọ̀nà máa bọ̀ àjọ máa gbénú ẹ̀ ni. Àníṣe ní ilẹ̀ wa ilẹ̀ ọlọ́ra ni ilẹ̀ tó ní gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láti máa jẹ mùdùmùdù bẹ̀. Àwọn kan wá ń dàjẹ́ wọ́n wá ní àwa civilize. Ìyá mi kan wọ́n ní àwọn Fúlàní à devil. Tàbá rí nǹkan mi tó ju devil lọ òun lè ká pè wọ́n. Mo kí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà. Mo kí ẹ̀yin silent listeners. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọba tó ń gbọ́ wa. Ẹ wá wo bó ṣe ṣe. UK gbọ́n. The UK is highly urbanized country. Ṣe rí pé UK gbọ́n. UK tó dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ àwọn wá and there are ìyà wà nínú ìlú yìí o, oh my God, but mo ní wàá dé àwọn ibì kan wàá máa béèrè pé ṣé wọ́n ní ṣé bíbá yìí ẹni tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ń sáré ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ nígbà táwọn náà ti rí gbogbo bí Europe ṣe rí tó ti lọ Singapore tó ti káàkiri pé bẹ́ẹ̀ èèyàn máa ń ṣe ranch ni tó bá ń ṣe màálù kí ló wá ń fi màálù tiẹ̀ èèyàn dáko ẹ rí fídíò yẹn ebi gbogbo wa láti rí gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ náà la máa post ó wá ń fi àdá ṣá oko lóko ó ń fa àwọn màálù jẹ tó bá ó kù díẹ̀ ó kàn máa ń yà mí pé àláwọn gọ́vnà tó dáa ó yẹ káwọn gọ́vnà wa kọ́ equip àwọn àmọ̀tẹ́kùn yẹn irú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ kí n má fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀. ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti rí fídíò yẹn, everybody saw the video. How can somebody go into somebody's farm ó wá ń fi àdá ó fi ń ṣá gbogbo kó yẹn káwọn màálù lè máa jẹ ìyẹn àgbàdo alágbàdo tó yẹn ń retí pé tágbàdo bá ṣe tán òun á kórè wọn ní ọlọ́njà kórè èkó wa délé bí àwọn àtàwà labroad ṣẹ́dá yìí tẹ wà nílé ẹ lè rí kankan kó jáde nínú oko tẹ bá rí kó jáde alhamdulillah. What God cannot do does not exist. Continue to live in denial. Kò ṣọ̀rọ̀ oko nìkan. They destroy almost every road network in Yoruba land. That is why Yoruba land is not urbanized. More on small project on ṣe ní gbogbo state yìí. We do say it. Wọ́n ti bá wa ṣe títì. Wọ́n ti connect bridge yẹn. Oya, take picture. Oya, go on social media, upload it so that Koiki can see it and they can talk about it. Ní kúure ṣèbẹ̀rí Ṣèyí Mákindé, brilliant daughter, right? Because you must be brilliant to get to that university. I hope he's looking after the same university in Oyo State. That's all I will say. Let's go further. Live program lẹ́ ń wò, okay? Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá tún wò mo kí yín náà. Wọ́n ní tipẹ́tipẹ́ mo kàn tún padà sí ibi tá a ti mú urbanize ẹ̀ jáde long before the rest of Black Africa. ṣe rí pé ìyẹn lọ́sí sọ pé tó bá lọ kántẹ́m yẹn dáadáa. ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ètò rẹ̀. ṣé lè ta wà nù Nàìjíríà la fẹ́ bọ́ sínú òpó ètò rẹ̀? They play. Mo máa ń wo program kan lórí mókè brother mi mọ́lẹ̀ ó náà ń pè Táíwò ní àdánù gẹ́ọ̀ yẹn ó máa ń ṣe match àwọn tó ń wá ọkọ àti ìyàwó gbogbo wọn tó bá bèèrè what are you doing? Content creator. Àwọn kan wà nísìnyí wọ́n ń ṣe research wọ́n ti lọ́ọ̀kì wọn sínú ibì kan bí oṣù mẹ́fà ló máa fi wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n test wọ́n ṣe services wọ́n ṣe big massive project research oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tábà gbélé báyìí lè ṣe máa work. àwa wá ní ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ wo níbo ló ti fẹ́ bọ́ sí nínú Nàìjíríà, a country that is so backwards. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀. Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ìmọ́lẹ̀ yẹn kó tàn? Ọ̀nà wo la máa gbà tí ìmọ́lẹ̀ máa fi tàn? Òun la fi gbé wá síwájú gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbé yẹ̀wò self determination ṣé option ni àti contraction Nàìjíríà. Pick one. Ìwọ náà mú kan náà ẹ̀. Ṣé bí kan táńtẹ̀mù wá sọ nìyẹn? Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ̀. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Nígbà tá Kérédolú máa sick wọ́n gbé sí Ondo General Hospital wọ́n rú lọ sí Germany pé Ọlọ́run níjọ́ ọkú sí Nàìjíríà ó ṣe kí ni ó padà lọ náà ni. And Yoruba people think it's a joke. To you is a joke. To us, it's not a joke. It's a matter that is in the chest of some of us. Báwo la ṣe ògo adúláwọ̀ yìí ọ̀nà wo ló máa gbà tó máa fi mọ̀ wá? Ṣé nínú Nàìjíríà? Oh yes. When I started the program, wọ́n dárúkọ girl kan, I'm not going to mention her name, even though she's a public figure. Koiki ṣó ti rí arábìnrin yẹn pẹ̀lú ọba yín. Bọ̀ kò ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá. Nàìjíríà ni òun tẹ̀ tí wá jẹ́ British Nàìjíríà. A kọ́kọ́ claim méjèèjì yẹn kó tó máa claim Yorùbá. Even though orúkọ ọmọ Yorùbá tó dùn láwọ̀ ni, àmọ́ ó náwọn kì í ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá. Sọ pé they play, no problem, àjọ ń play náà ni. Tó bá yá gbogbo wa la máa ṣe kí ni? La máa jẹ breakfast. Kọ́nà má jẹ́ kí ó pẹ́ kó tó yé gbogbo wa. Let's move swiftly. Mo kí gbogbo lé. 1 hour 30 minutes into the program, we probably have about another few 30 minutes or so. Long before the rest of the Black Africa, we Yoruba began to develop into urbanized people, a people living in towns and cities. Kò ń ṣe inú igbó là ń gbé, inú ìlú là ń gbé. Our homeland was the only urbanized part of Black Africa for many centuries. Tó bá ti fi ẹ̀sìn kan wọ́n ní century, wọ́n ní many centuries. Ìyẹn ni Ọ̀yọ́ empire ṣe lọ far away tó lọ káàkiri títí dé Togo àti Sierra Leone. Nígbà táwọn òyìnbó wọ́n wá ń wo Ọ̀yọ́ empire, wọ́n wá ní tá a bá fáwọn ilé láàyè ó máa expand lọ ni o. Ẹ̀já pín gbogbo ẹ̀ ní 1884 wọ́n dẹ̀ pín lóòótọ́. Àwọn bàbá tí irùngbọ̀n wọn máa ń lọ báyìí. Àwọn bàbá àgbàlagbà wọ́n wá ń pín ayé tiwa. Wọ́n wá pín Bẹ̀nẹ̀, wọ́n yọ kúrò lára ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, wọ́n yọ Togo, kódà wọ́n tẹ̀ fẹ́ yọ gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kan tó báyìí nísìn. Àti wọ́n sọ fọ́mọ Yorùbá pé ẹ jẹ́ àrònú sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ yìí. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ò ń ṣe ìbániwọ̀, ó ṣe jẹ́ tààrẹ àti ti family ẹ̀ lóró. Ó ṣe ro ti the next generation. Why are you selfish about yourself? Ro the next generation pé àwọn tó ń bọ̀ lọ́la níbo ló máa rí lẹ̀dẹ́ sí nígbà tí Fúlàní bá ti gbalẹ̀ wa. Sọ pé wọ́n lè gbà. History sọ pé ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí láwọn ibì kan, kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa torí àwọn ò ní máa fẹnu tiwa ṣe àníyàn pé à ń retí nǹkan kan ká tún máa fẹnu wa sùn kan míì. Máa sọ pé kò possible, àwa là ní jẹ́ kó possible with our effort. Eléyìí tá à ń ṣe òbẹ̀sìn jẹ́ náà, kí ló wá ń fẹ́ máa mú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation? Kí lẹ̀sìn ní ṣe pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation? Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti ń bẹ kọ́ ẹ̀sìn tó dé, ó ní nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Ní kẹ́ lọ ṣe is not by force. Kò sẹ́ni tó ní kó lọ máa dífá máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ babaláwo. Mo ní kó lọ sọ́dọ̀ babaláwo ni. So kí ló wá mú ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation àtẹ̀sìn? Kí nìyẹn ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀? Kí lẹ̀sìn ní ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan tá a gbé dání? À ń bèrè ẹ̀tọ́, òun sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn. Mo kí gbogbo lélẹ̀ nǹkan sí. At 3:45 is a live transmission. Orúkọ tèmi ló ń pè ní Ọláyọmí. Mo ní màá ṣàlàyé, màá pín Nàìjíríà sí pieces pẹ̀lú àwọn àlàyé tí màá ṣe fún ẹ. Ìwọ gan wàá délé wàá máa bìyàwó ẹ pé ṣé Nàìjíríà yìí ṣe country ní ṣá? Ìwọ máa bí àwọn tẹjọ wà ní beer parlour, àwọn tẹjọ ń ṣe fàájì tẹ́ lọ sí club lálẹ́, máa bí wọ́n pé ṣé Nàìjíríà ṣe country ni? Ní ọlọ́pàá ń fa steering mọ́ citizen lọ́wọ́ àti citizen àtọlọ́pàá. Mo ní gbogbo yín, you are mad people all over the place. Bomb bastard. Can you imagine that? Ọlọ́pàá ó ń gba steering mọ́ driver lọ́wọ́ lórí motorway. Ṣe ayé wa. In tó yìnbó dálẹ̀ òun là ń fèsì consequence. Àwọn kan Koiki ṣo ti rí fídíò mélòó mo fẹ́ wò. The country is mad. How can a policeman is òyìnbó wọn fẹ́ lò àtẹ̀mọ̀ òyìnbó tá a máa lò? Ẹ jẹ́ n phrase dáadáa. A policeman sitting in the front, the driver of the Uber, the passenger at the back, and the policeman decided that he has gone mad. He decided to try to hijack ni, or invade the privacy of the driver by trying to take the steering, and the two of them are driving the car. Wèrè wà nílùú yẹn. No. Wèrè wà nínú Nàìjíríà. It's not a country. Ìyẹn ò ṣe country mu. But kò ná àwa ló máa ń jọ lójú àwa tá a wà labroad. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ẹ ti wà normalized to that nonsense. Nítorí pé omi tó ń mu kò ń ṣe pipe borne water. Omi tí Ọlọ́run ló mọ ibi ilé ìgbẹ́ tó gbà wọlé kó tó di pé ó dé ọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀. So to you is nothing. Àwọn máa wo fídíò yẹn báyìí. Àwọn òyìnbó á máa analyse fídíò yẹn pé there is madness somewhere. There is madness because okay, agree pé ọlọ́pàá yẹn sọ pé bí ṣe gbọ́ tell him let's go police station then he's carry me somewhere. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa gbé ẹ lọ náà kó dẹ̀ pé àwọn ọlọ́pàá mi pé wèrè Uber yóò dúró fún ẹ kó dẹ̀ pa lọ́nà. It's as simple as that. Wọ́n jọ wá ń do steering mọ́ra wọn lọ́wọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà dẹ̀ sọ pé it's normal. Koiki yẹn máa normal. Èyí tó ń rí nìyẹn ìyẹn normal o. Wèrè mi tún wà o. Ọmọ tó gbé lẹ́yìn wa ó wá ní please I give you 2 million. Ọlọ́pàá ò tẹ̀ tó rówó mọ́ kó tẹ̀ sọ pé yes I will take 2 million. Ọlọ́pàá náà fẹ́ mo ṣe rí pé mo máa ń sọ pé wèrè wà nù Nàìjíríà wèrè times 10 ló wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ wá ní kan àwọn kan ní Koiki gbogbo news tí wọ́n máa ń gbé wá news ìbànújẹ́ ni ṣé mi náà ni mo sọ fún ọlọ́pàá kó fún mi nírú news yẹn tèmi ṣe analysis lè rí àní country yẹn is a criminal country kò kí ń ṣe country irú country yẹn ọmọ Yorùbá ò lè gbé níbẹ̀ kó ní prosperity ibi tó ọlọ́pàá ti ń bẹ du steering mọ́tò wàhálà bí àṣà zazu how did we get to all that? Ṣé bó ṣe train àwọn ọlọ́pàá náà nìyẹn? Because to you it's normal. But for people that wants to have a better irú system yẹn lo so tẹ́mi náà bá dé Nàìjíríà nísìn kátà sọ pé mo ṣe Yorùbá nation mo wá nínú mọ́tò inú Uber ọlọ́pàá wa ń down fast mo tẹ̀ mọ́ tí máa lè ṣe first class madness. Mo kàn try láti figure out but ẹni tó wà Nàìjíríà normal ni. Koiki normal nìyẹn ìyẹn kéré sí tá à ń rí and this is the reason why arákùnrin ṣe sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká play video yẹn bí kinní yóò bá ṣe é ṣe ẹ má ẹ ká force ara wa ẹ má ẹ kó dìgbà tá a bá para wa a fẹ́ para wa ẹ jẹ́ kó lukaluku máa lọ́nlọ́ ìtànfà yìí ẹ má ẹ kó di sùrùtù ẹ jẹ́ kó lukaluku máa lọ nílò ẹ lárákùnrin bá ní ó yá gbọ́n sókè.
Àtúrọ̀mọ́ pure water báyìí pé kó lọ ra pure water wa pure water ń sì ó sì di báàgì méjì 500 kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ èwo ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí kí ló tún kọ pure water omi tá fi ń dáná omi tá fi ń dáná kí ló dé pé gbogbo nǹkan báyìí ìnira ti pọ̀ jù Lagos State yìí kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tẹ́ ń ta pure water láti inú mọ́tò méjì 500 báàgì méjì 500 láti inú mọ́tò àwọn tó máa tún tà kọ́lé ló máa tà kí ló pé ìnira á pọ̀ jù ní Nàìjíríà ìnira ti pọ̀ jù àtìgbà tí Buhari ti bọ́lẹ̀ báyìí ni Buhari ti gbé lọ́ọ̀fù ló ti gbé ìfẹ́ lọ kò sífẹ̀ẹ́ mọ́ ìnira ayé ti pọ̀ jù epo wọn àsọ̀rọ̀ gàrí wọn àsọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan wọn àsọ̀rọ̀ ṣé bí ọ̀tà omi dáàmú lẹ́tún jẹ́ kó wọ́n omi tó so omi tọ́lọ́run dà tó ń ṣe pé bóyá pé kínní òun lẹ́tún jẹ́ kó wọ́n níbo la ń lọ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà níbo la ń lọ báyìí níbo la ń lọ tó bá yẹ pé ogun la máa jà tí gbogbo wèrè yìí máa fi sọ́ọ̀t tó bá yẹ pé ogun la máa jà tí gbogbo ìyà tí àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù jẹ yìí láti ní jẹ mọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká kúkú jagun ẹ tó bá máa kú kó kú ẹ tó bá máa yè kó yè ìnira àdẹ́ni wọn lára yóò ti pọ̀ jù ẹ̀yin nìkan lè gbádùn kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gan ṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ gbé wáyé wọlé síbẹ̀ ni why we something be like this.
Brother mi take it easy now ohun tó ń filẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù náà ó yà wò kí ló sọ.
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
I'm supporting Tinubu.
100%. The deal with Nigerians. People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them. Or you will do your conscience
ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ bàbá ẹ̀yin náà bá gbọ́n sókè.
Now being pushed to the fringes, talking about and believing and espousing the belief that Nigeria truly should be one.
We need to begin by resolving a conceptual crisis. What do I mean by a conceptual crisis? Quite often when we speak about Nigeria, we collapse the distinction between country, state, and nation. We tend to think that the three mean the same. We tend to think the three are synonyms. A country is a territory. From the Latin contra terra, the land that lies ahead of you. A country is a territory. It is not necessarily a nation. A nation is an association of peoples, and I use that word in the plural deliberately because of diversity. A nation is an association of peoples who identify their shared core values. And on the basis of their shared core values, they give themselves a constitution which will now establish institutions that make up the state. What we have in Nigeria and in most African countries is a confusion where we think the nation is the state. The nation is reduced to the state. We have a country quite all right by the fact that we live within a territory, even if that territory is not secure, as we all know. But we don't have a nation. We have institutions that make up the state. We collapse the nation into the state. If you look at our constitution, Section 2 of the current constitution, and you don't find this in the 1963 constitution, it ascribes sovereignty not to the people but to the state. That is dangerous. That means the state has the last say on any question. That means the state is more powerful than the citizen. That is a recipe for impunity. Because as we all know, the state is the head of state, or the governor, or whoever represents them. Whatever they say, we all have to comply, whether they're right or wrong. So we don't have a democracy in the true sense of the word.
Oh my God.
And until we have that, until we build a nation, we can't even talk of unfinished greatness. And I have to make a critique of the title of Governor Fayeme's book. It presupposes that there is a project that is unfinished. I'm saying we have not even started the project.
Oh my God. Okay. No problem. Soon, everybody will understand.
I pray God will give Asiwaju the courage to do it, because it will affect even himself. It will affect all the APC powers. It will affect all the MDs of banks. The MDs of banks are the destroyer of this system. The powerful, the high and the mighty, he is stepping on their toes. I pray God give him the grace to do it. The next thing he should do, tell him if you know him, is to restructure this country. Nigeria is a fraud. One particular tribe repressing the whole of us. Did you hear what Central Bank governor wants to do? Just a department, the operation department of Central Bank, to be moved back to Lagos, where you have 99% of the headquarters of bank. The North is agitating. Don't take Abuja back to Lagos. They don't care. If you all become beggars, it's okay for their oligarchic mentality. I talk like no other pastor talk. I talk like no other pastor talk. Because I have seen into governance, I have seen into the church. And I know where the problem is in this country. Are you hearing me? They may not like what I'm saying, but they cannot dispute the truth. This country cannot go on like this. Okay, I was talking about those who migrated. I don't blame those that want to japa. You know, initially I was saying don't japa. Do you hear me say that again? Japa if you want to japa. Because you look at the country and say, what future? If it goes on like this, what future? If it goes on like this, civil war is imminent. If it goes on like...
Do you hear that? That is Pastor Femi. If it goes on like this, èmi kọ́ mo sọ o, don't quote me o. Má sọ pé Koiki ló ní ogun bọ̀ Nàìjíríà o. Civil war is imminent. They say they play. Instead of you to be part of the movement so that we can push, ask questions. And then one day, it will fall apart. Even those that disagree with Igboho spoke.
Igboho, or whatever you have said, you see, it's not ignorable in the circumstance that we have found ourselves. It cannot be used positively to make peace, rather than condemn him, ask him to go, they should arrest him and put him behind bars. That's not the story now. A situation we have found ourselves calls for everyone to come to round table and appeal to their people. Sunday Igboho might not be the best of persons, but the fact remains, when crises, when they come from the lower cadre people in the society, and they're the ones that can talk to their people. The big men stay in their house, send people out.
When crisis comes, it comes from the lower cadre. Àwọn tí yà ń jẹ, àwọn tí wọ́n rí kankan. And if you think that it might not happen, maybe with the constitution that you are using right now, it will just solve our problems. Yomi, don't worry. Koiki, don't worry. This 1999 constitution will resolve all these your problem that you're talking about. Maybe this will convince you.
We have problems in the land, and the problems, I want to say this, I might be off the cuff, is because of our constitution. Also, Nigeria is not operating any constitution known to honesty, entrenched in group faith, brought about by unanimity of the people, acceptable to federalism, and again, that is also, we also have that problem in the judiciary because of the Nigerian situation. We have a unitary system. That's what we run. Hydra-headed. Don't let us pretend. And I've said it over and over, and I'll continue to say it. And that's unitarism has also crept into the judiciary. Today, the entire Nigerian judiciary is unitarized. The Supreme Court is federal, Federal Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal is federal, Federal High Court is federal, FCT is federal, National Industrial Court is federal, Customary Court of Appeal of the Federal High Court is federal, Sharia Court of Appeal of the Federal High Court is federal, all jurisdictions. That the Coyote Trust of this world, that the officials of this world, that the bailiffs of this world, when they wind their respective high courts exercised, making the law to be profound, succulent, rich, exciting, they are now vested in the different federal high court or federal courts. We're talking of how to reform the system. There is no justification in a state, in a nation like Nigeria, purporting to practice federalism, where even the Supreme Court should be overburdened with unnecessary jurisdiction in respect of land matters from Yoruba land, respect of divorce, respect of family matters, citizenship matters. How do they know? I don't want us to be deceiving ourselves. Assuming I'm even appointed to the Supreme Court today, I'm above the age, but assuming, and I'm sitting there, and you bring a matter on appeal in respect of Kanuri native law and custom, or Igbo native law and custom, or Igbo land tenure system, and I sit there, and I'm writing judgment. I'm a Yoruba man. What do I know about that? Those kind of cases to stop at the state, either Court of Appeal or Supreme Court. Go to the United States of America. This state has its own Supreme Court. We are running into trouble. We are inching there, and time is not in our favor. And I'm not.
We are running into trouble. That trouble is what people don't want to hear. As I'm just about 12 minutes to the end of this live transmission, I'd like to appreciate everyone that have joined. We hope that you will continue to join us at every interval when we are live on our transmission. Moki brother me, Ifadare, Moki Babawa Ganiu Suraju. Ifadare says, and I quote, Igboho Osha is far more educated than all the Yoruba people, all the Yoruba elite combined. Mad people everywhere. Thank you so much. Ebanki family. Mr. Tajuddin Awole, criminal country called Nigeria. Ganiu Suraju Alabi, Yawa Ogutade Muibat, Salamu Alaikum. Grandma Leah, good afternoon, White Lion. The Lord will continue to strengthen you in Jesus' name. Amen. Yoruba Nation of going back. Sunday Michael, good afternoon. Ganil Suraju again. Eko Wuro, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Mo kí sister wa ṣe Koribe. Oni well done, bàbá mi. Kennedy, the real king of Yoruba land. Àwọn ọlọ̀tẹ̀. Mad people all over the place again by Kennedy. Comfort, Nikki says, Amen. And me, Stone Cold, we bring the world closer to your doorstep. That is what Koikimedia does. Most importantly, you follow us. You would find news from different parts of the world. But this platform, fully dedicated to the Yoruba people on the self-determination. Lawrence Olalekon said, good afternoon, Mr. Koiki. How is your family? Well, my family will be returning back from school. And I'm trying to wrap up because when I come in, you'll be hearing the sound of Omodua. I hope gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá náà, àwọn ọmọ yín lọ sí school, whether it's a public or private school, just like my own children have done as well. Mo kí àwọn Koikimedia backup team. Mo kí àwọn Taiwo Kike. Báwo ni Qatar? No, ṣé Qatar lẹ́wà bí Kuwait? I keep mixing it up. Mo kí àwọn Jọkẹ́ Bọ́dúnrin. Yes, killing people like chicken. They don't have human feelings. Mo kí brother our bàbá mi Ìdòwú Matthew. Mo kí àwọn lẹ́ǹkan sí Jọkẹ́ Bọ́dúnrin. Alan Conde said the Fulani are the tribe killing the others. Ifeoluwa Olumide mo fi t'Elédùmarè king. Gani Olóyèdè ni Buhari and his family làwọn tó ń pààyàn. Sunday Ọláolú mo kí yín. Ifá ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé. It is important that we know our history and our tradition. Before we get to where we are going, torment will touch most of our lover of Nigeria. I don't know what that means, but whatever it means to you. Mr. Jaye TV, mo fi ti Elédùmarè, mo fi kí bàbá mi, mo kí brother mi, mo kí ìyá wa Jọkẹ́ Bọ́dúnrin. Poverty is real. Tó bá rí jẹ, máa dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tá wà lórí Twitter space. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tá wà lórí Instagram, mo kí yín. Kenzie Abiola Fakpondani, mad people in the country. Brother mi Alan Condoni, for 500 years is too far for my brother. Just 7 years to come, our land will be gone. Britain and the Fulani are really planning. Moki Alan Condi, Lenkonsi. And then let's appreciate Babawa Dennis Dayo, Omitogun. Only not going back. Moki Lanre Jinodu. Moki sister wa Yala Lubarika Amdalat. Monisi Remiko Amdalat nígbà tá wà ní Abẹ́òkúta Grammar School. Moki gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé. Ẹ jẹ́ appreciate ẹ̀yin tá wà lórí YouTube ká tó máa lọ sí ilé. Moki Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby. Brother mi, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, Iyọlá Adédọ̀yìn mo kí yín. Mo kí àwa Elizabeth Ọ̀dẹ́lọ́lá wọ́n ní ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò náà tí Yorùbá Nation no going back. Babátúndé Adéyẹmí ni well done White Lion. Ọmọ Odùduwà Media TV wọ́n ní àkó ètò Nectech Electrical ni good afternoon sir and well done for Yorùbá Nation. I am just playing my role and my role is not as important as yours. Everybody has a role to play. Ẹlòmíì just a small role ló máa play. Àwa máa máa fohùn síta. Mo kí cousin mi Lẹ́kan exclusive banki àwọn family àti mọ̀mísí. Mo kí bàbá wa Kúnlé Shita ṣàlàfíà ni àwọn aunty àti brothers mi náà wà nílé bá máa kí gbogbo wọn. Mo kí àmì Olúṣọlá Fatuase Gbádébọ̀ Fìjàbí wọ́n sọ fún mi pé Koiki Gilberta is a British territory. Gbogbo population wọn is just under 40,000. They have their own system of government. And we hope that one day we will have the same as well. Olawoyin Ibrahim, on a well done, my bros, White Lion. Olon ikoni boss gbogbo. I am just playing my part, and history will remember me, just as history continue to remember Awolowo. Nígbà tí Awolowo negotiate independent of Nigeria, kò ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló agree ló believe. Idris ni Mr. Koiki. Have you seen Mike Ndarukwe? She's a celebrity, but let's just leave her alone. Mo ti rí picture yẹn tí bàbá ẹ̀ náà ti post. Bàbá mi Adésanwó Balógun wọ́n ní Zuma ìyẹn ni footballer tó lọ kíkì ológbò bí mo ti ṣe ṣàlàyé lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Flabi sọ pé okay again. Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nà, thank you so much once again. Tajuddin Ibrahim, Flabi also made us know that last week in Owerri, may their soul rest in peace, one lorry crushed 30 people. Mokele Nkonsi, my cousin, big cousin, and he's doing very well. And I pray that many of you, as you are in Nigeria, until Nigeria will fall apart, the Lord will guide you and protect you. But you need the government to do that. And we hope Tinubu will do what it needs to do until whatever is going to happen. Capture Sport Moki Elenkonsi. Moki our Janet Moki Elenkonsi. Larry Lamina, thank you so much. Baba Moses, Capture Sport again. Additional Balogun. I'm just trying to catch as many names. Ogbeni Bobby, Omodudua TV. Those are Said Jima Moki, Mr. Moses. If I didn't mention your name, it's not deliberately. Tony Ages. As God, Kunle Shita. I run 2 YouTube channel. Ìyá mi náà wà lórí ètò mo kí wọn dáadáa. Ẹ bá ń kí gbogbo àwọn Nigerian Muslim Association. Next week Friday is my party. I don't have a party, it's just my birthday. Owó ni mo need àtàdúrà. Just say Koiki, èmi ti fi £10 síbẹ̀, mo ti bẹ́ẹ̀ fi £1 million so that èmi náà lè rówó lò. Oyè yín next week Friday. Don't ask for my age now. It's just my birthday. Mo kí brother mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa. Wọ́n ní Yẹmí Fátókè mo kí ẹ. Mo kí our comfort Ológunjà. Mo dẹ̀ kí our comfort Adélẹ́yẹ. Triple DRS. Brother mi dáadáa mo kí ẹ. Wọ́n ní well done, good afternoon. Mo kí gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ ṣe wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí à ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. Ìlú tí kò ní kankan ó ti wà confused bí ìyá mi Abọ́sẹ̀dé Rachel ṣe sọ. Mo kí ìyá mi lẹ́ǹkan sí. Ìyá wa Grace Olúṣètò, no matter how other Nigeria tries, the Yoruba sovereign, some Yoruba believe in it, but they are very careful, especially àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Lagos state government, and we don't want you to be compromised because of the job you're doing. Ẹ kò gbà pé kíran Yorùbá kó bọ́ and pray for it and do whatever. Ẹni náà ẹ san 10 naira yín lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ exclusive lọ san 10 naira tiẹ̀ fún UISDL. Gbogbo ẹmọ Yorùbá náà ló lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti sanwó sínú ẹ̀, ó máa ní nǹkan tó máa ṣe fún wa. I am just literally just about 6 minutes. Yeah, actually only 1:56. So I have a 4 minutes left. Moki Pastor Mo, Talotu Ambe, Moki Waris, you know, the brother me. This is my third program for the day. If I have the strength, I'll come back out again. I don't know when, but if I don't, then that means Otudi Igbatabarira. Ogumala Biodu Moki, brother me, Comrade Plan B. Only Yoruba Nation until victory. Moki Waris, you know, do. Pastor Mo Moki, Moki Agbalagba. Ìyá kan ní Koiki, gbogbo wa tó bá ń ṣe program, jọ máa bá wa fàdúrà àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ́wọ́. Àwọ̀ ṣépè fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kọ́ ni zoo. Nàìjíríà orúkọ yẹn òun ni zoo that needs to go out of our life and we'll have a new name. And it's not going to be possible. Time will tell whether it will be possible or not. And before we finally leave you, ẹja gbọ́. A lè má gbọ́ tán, but ẹja gbọ́ díẹ̀.
Wọ́n ní mi sí ìjọba, mò ń lọ ń dá sí nǹkan tí ó kàn mí, ṣùgbọ́n tó kàn mí mo dá sí lórí pọ́mọ Yorùbá ni mí. Bí ìjọba bá wà tí ò ṣe ẹ̀tọ́ tó yẹ kó ṣe fún aráàlú tí wọ́n dìbò fún tó jẹ́ ìjọba lé lórí, tí ìjọba bá wà tí ààbò bá sí fún aráàlú tó lóò ṣèjọba lé lórí, aráàlú dìde fúnra ẹ̀. Kì í ṣe pé mo pàṣẹ àbí mo dédé pàṣẹ àbí mo kàn sọ nǹkan tí ó wá látọkàn mi. Nǹkan tó fa ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni pé ẹ̀yin náà wò láti bí ijọ́ mélòó kan sìn bí ọ̀sẹ̀ bíi méjì sìn nípa ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní tó wà ní gbogbo Ìbàràpá. Ẹ wo dókítà wa Dr. Fatai, PhD doctor ọmọ Yorùbá tó kàwé tó gboyè, ó wá lọ sílùú òyìnbó ní àìníye ọdún ó lọ ṣiṣẹ́, ó wá dé okòwò dé, ó wá lọ lu bàbá ẹ̀ ní gangan, ó dá oko àgbàdo, ẹ̀gẹ́, iṣu, oríṣiríṣi nǹkan, soya beans, ó dẹ̀ gba ọmọ wa ní gangan bẹ́ẹ̀ náà síbẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ tó ń bá a ṣiṣẹ́. Fúlàní wa jẹ oko ẹ̀, ó wá gbéra láti lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní yìí sọ̀rọ̀, láti lọ bá Sẹ́ríkì Fúlàní pé ẹ wá wo ohun tí àwọn ọmọ yín ṣe lórí oko mi, kò yẹ kó rí báyìí lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá mi. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dé lókun bẹ̀ náà, wọ́n dẹ̀ sàpà. Àìmọye èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tá a lè múrúkọ wọn làwọn Fúlàní yìí bẹ́ lórí tí wọ́n pa wọ́n. Wọ́n jí àwọn kan gbé, ẹni tó bá gbowó tó kéré lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ wọ́n gba 7 million, wọ́n gba 10 million, wọ́n gba 11 million lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí dùn mí, ó bà mí lọ́kàn jẹ́ gan. Pé tá a bá torí pé tó Ọlọ́run bàbá wa, àwọn ará àwọn ọmọ tí tẹ̀lé wa tó ń ṣààbò fún wa, àwọn tí ò lẹ́yìn tí ó tẹ̀lé wọn kọ́, ìdí nìyí tó mú mi lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn. Ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ débẹ̀, ohun tí mo lọ fún ni pé láti lọ bá a pé ṣé gbogbo tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí lórí ilẹ̀ wa sọ da, ẹ ti ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa, adẹ̀fà ìgbà yín, àbáyín jà, àṣẹ nǹkan jàǹbá fún yín. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni mò ń bá Sẹ́ríkì sọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ yí ọ̀pọ̀ sí mi. Mo gba ìbọn yẹn lọ́wọ́ ìkan yọ àké àgbà, ìkejì tún yọ ìbọn mi. ìyẹn ti ẹ̀yìn ẹni bá wọnú fídíò yẹn tó ra fídíò wọn ó yìnbọn yẹn sí ni kí tó lóbọ̀ yẹn mọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ fídíò pé ìbọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dáhùn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n yìnbọn sí mi bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n tún ká ẹ̀ ń bájà wá ẹ̀yìn túbù yìí tí n bá bájà wá ẹ̀ ní dúró tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti wá lè wá àtúnṣe sí ọ̀rọ̀ jíjígbé àti pépà àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àtàwọn àǹtí wa àwọn bọ̀dá wa àtàwọn ìyá mi àtàwọn bàbá mi tẹ̀lé wọn lo okòó mọ́ yìí o ó fẹ́ tàkẹ́ forílẹ̀ bàbá wa lẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ náà ń fà yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀gbá àwọn kan gbé wọn fẹ́ pa àwọn mùsùlùmí kílọ̀kànmí kan mùsùlùmí kílọ̀kànmí kan kírísítẹ̀ kílọ̀kànmí kan gbogbo táwọn ń fà yìí èmi ò ní ìdìkẹ́ta àlàáfíà Yorùbá ni màá wá mi fẹ́ kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ń dúnkòkò tọ́pọ̀ jù wọ́n ń dúnkòkò ntọ́lọ́m táwọn tí ń dúnkòkò náà mọ̀ pé àwọn ń dúnkòkò mọ́ mi ṣùgbọ́n ohun tí èyí jẹ́ kí ẹrù bà mí ni pé ó ń bẹ nínú Bíbélì pé tíyẹn bá ń jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ lórí nǹkan bàbá rẹ̀ tó bá kú síbẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan kan torí pé mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe yẹn fúngbà díẹ̀ ni.
fúngbà díẹ̀ ni mo kí gbogbo wọn Yorùbá mo kí ìyá wa Ọlájíire mo kí sísítà mi Ọlájíire náà mo kí ìyá wa Ọlájíire kókà mo kí Ọmọbọ́lájí Abdullahi mo kí ẹ Ọlánìpẹ̀kun wealthy plenty ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Twitter mo kí yín ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Twitter space mo ṣe àbọ̀rọ̀ àbọ̀yè what God cannot do does not exist plan B mo kí ẹ níbẹ̀ ọmọ ọlá and Chuk all hail Biafra and as I leave you we would say that thank you so much once again. We will continue to treat that. I'll probably treat it to the weekend. Then next week, we will start with another topic from the 95-page, The Good News, Path to Prosperity in our ORILEEDE Yoruba by Professor Adebanji Akitoye. So it's an introduction. We've read that introduction at the beginning. In the following pages, I try to present the glorious pictures of our soon-to-come country, our ORILEEDE Yoruba. I try to describe the dreams that are impelling millions of Yoruba men and women in all countries of the world to engage seriously in the Yoruba self-determination struggle. It is important to engage. Emma called, so let us all engage. So next week, Lágbára Ọlọ́run, in Jesus' name, inshallah, Lágbára ohun tó láyé tó lọ́run, we will be treating the number 2. Mo kí ẹ easy, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ sí lórí ètò Ìfagbémiléké and the rest of all our listeners and those that listen to us quietly and silently. Next week, God's willing, we will start with number 2. I will finish this. We are a nation with a proud root and a proud history by this weekend. Then we will start with a new topic, and that new topic will be called, which is not me, Babakito Elokobubele. Mine is just to read it out and there a lot of analysis for a whole week about it. Independent Nigeria, we have suffered serious decline and agony. One in independent in Nigeria, ati jìyà tó ń ṣe kékeré kódà àti wà nínú wàhálà. So that will be the topic from the following week. Lágbára Elédùmarè. In the 191 local government as it stands right now in Nigeria, in the Yoruba side, southwest, mo kí gbogbo wa pé we will survive it. We will get there. It will be a lot of work, but I can tell you we will get there. Thank you so much and have a very blessed afternoon. Yoruba nation is not just no going back. It has come to stay. How soon, when, is what we don't know. So where they play, it is coming. Thank you so much. Iṣẹ́ wa fún lẹ́wà. I hope everybody know morning you call. Èmi náà master ni, just like we mastered the national anthem before they're trying to change it now. So if you don't know it, it's important that learn it. We will try to see if we can. I have the verses written somewhere. I sent out a proposed constitution. It's not new. It's something that we have dealt with, I think, in 2021. Mommy wa kan ló béèrè àwọn documents and lọ́wọ́ mi through WhatsApp Latin America, and I decided to just reshare it again. If you need anything that relates to Yoruba nation, you can check the YSDM. If you can't find it, you will find multiples of documents on the Koikimedia.com. Remember that your support is needed so that we can fund the media and do more. Iṣẹ́ wa fún lẹ́wà, forílẹ̀-èdè wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàlẹ́rì. ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé láti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa tẹ̀síwájú fọ́pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ odò àdìdé bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Mo kí bàbá wa Fatai Mọ́tájọ, ìyàwó Elizabeth Awóṣefájù, mo kí yín. Mo kí mọ́mì mi kan náà tí wọ́n lọ́lé tí wọ́n ti ṣe 70 wọn, I call her big mommy. Gbogbo àwa náà tí à ń ṣe birthday ní inú oṣù yìí lọ sí next month, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún la máa ṣe. Next week kò sí eré o, £1, £2, £30 bá ṣe máa gbà. That's if I'm live next week on my birthday. If otherwise, just pray for me. Thank you so much. One love. Bye for now.